And here we go.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media. We are live for another edition of the AEW Dynamite Post Show. I am joined here with my friend Dustin, Mr. Midwest 99. Appreciate everybody joining in the chat. Hunter Dillon says, "Howdy, boys." Street Mania in the house. He says, "What's up, CR Media?" Um, King Hipsta says, "What's up, Mr. Midwest?" Appreciate everybody joining.
Yes, sir.
Again, like I said, we are going to break down Dynamite and talk about it. But before we do that, I want to get all the knick-knack paddywhacks out of the way. And Steven Chambers says, "What's up, guys? How was Dynamite? Missed the show. Just got back from a Christmas party. Awesome. Raz, my good friend Scott, in the chat. Heel Blue Viking in the chat.
That's my friend. That's my friend,
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. Heel Blue Viking says,
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. So,
I can't do a good Razor impression.
yeah.
Steven, we will get into that later on. This is where Chase is going to start collecting clips again this week, posting them throughout the week, and I'm going to continuously get more hate and told that I should just enjoy the ride on things when I've been on that ride multiple times.
I don't think I don't think you've gotten the most hate out of all the clips that I've done for this show since we started it.
See, so I'm
there's
feeling
just-
ABJ's shoes, and this week I am definitely going to be ABJ. So, with all due respect to the man himself, I know imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I'm gonna give him a run for his money this week.
Awesome. All right, guys. So before we get started, I want to tell me you hate your tag team partner without telling me you hate your tag team partner.
Oh God, clown! We talked about this earlier this week, man. You promised me you were not going to be the jealous girlfriend.
I like it. I don't hate it. All right.
No, it's all love, clown. It's all love.
Absolutely. So before we gonna get into it, I wanted to take a moment and let everybody know we are currently live on CR Media or on Twitch, CR Media 1988. So twitch.tv/CR Media 1988. And then we are also live on CR Media's Facebook page. And then, of course, Sports Empire Network on their YouTube page and on their Facebook page. Guys, if you're not following Sports Empire Network, please go do so. Sports Empire Network, up and coming, man. We're growing like crazy. We're on TV. We have a TV deal with Amazon TV, Roku TV, and stuff. So definitely, like I said, if you're not, we've got all kinds of articles, all kinds of sports you can think of. We just finished a hockey show, the Wire to Wire podcast, which is fantastic. So huge numbers over there at Sports Empire. Make sure you check them out. Sports Empire Network on YouTube and Facebook. And guys, the other thing too that a lot of people don't know about Sports Empire Network. Sports Empire Network has partnered with SeatGeek, SeatGeek.com. So whether you're going to events, concerts, whatever type of activities you can find on SeatGeek.com, sporting events, you use promo code SEN for Sports Empire Network, you're gonna get $20 off of your purchase. So make sure 20% or $20. I'll have to double check on that one before I put probably 20%. But yeah, definitely check out SeatGeek.com. Use promo code Sports Empire Network. This show broadcasting on Sports Empire Network, and then also I do the Sunday morning drive, guys. So that leads me into my next thing. If you are not already, make sure hit the exclamation point CR Media in the chat. Check out the link tree and follow CR Media on all forms of social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. Dustin, let the people know where they can find you, my friend.
Well, here's the easiest part. It's right here. You see this little line. My hand's above it, but there's this little line. It's Mr. Midwest 99, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter. So
Absolutely.
that is where I am to be found. Kay, what's up? Big shout out to those who are coming in from my Twitch, Mr. Midwest 99 over there on Twitch. Shout out to them,
Yes.
Kay, Clown, Viking, as much as he likes to give me shit about not being able to grow facial hair. Um, it's just a thing. Hipsta is also from there, so Street Mania as
Yeah.
well. So shout out to those guys for showing up and showing out.
King Hipsta's a fellow Missourian. I dig it, man.
Misery.
I dig it. Yeah. 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 Whoa. Whoa. Wow.
I have friends that live
I mean,
there, and that's what they call
I mean,
it.
it's true.
So
It's true. So,
I figured I could squeeze that one in there. I mean, I live in
yeah.
Arkansas, so
Yeah. Arkansas. God. So guys, we're gonna get into this thing and break down the show. I know, like I said, we try to get all the social media stuff out of the way really quick, not to bore people with it and everything. However, uh, before I do continue on, Raz brought a very good point. Explanation Discord in the chat. Heel Blue Viking. I know you tried to use the explanation point CR Media. Unfortunately, it's only in my chat that works. So same thing with the Discord, guys. If you're in the chat, if you're in CR Media's chat on Twitch, explanation point Discord, you can join CR Media's Discord. We are in the process of revamping the Discord, so we got a lot of cool things coming to the Discord and CR Media's side. So,
I should probably get around to adding you on my stuff so that can work.
Oh, you're good. You're good, man. No worries. All right. So we started off Dynamite, guys, with Ricky Starks coming out and cutting a promo. Talked about how he lost due to MJF's sneaky ways and cut a very white meat babyface promo, which I loved. I think Ricky Starks is on his way to be that guy. He's got all the charisma in the world to do it. And I think, not to draw comparisons because I know a lot of people like to, and I don't necessarily like it, but just to play devil's advocate, there was a young, handsome, square-faced individual back in the '90s, late '90s, early 2000s, who could both do the heel thing and the babyface thing, just like your boy Ricky Starks can. I'm not going to.
I was just saying,
I hate it.
Do not say the name. You can say that, but don't say the name.
I know. I'm not going to. I don't go to. Just because he walks around wearing a turtleneck and is very charismatic. Doesn't mean that he's copying somebody. I think that's weird.
I'm gonna agree with Steven there. Starts for the TNT title or the All Atlantic, one of the two. I don't think he's at world title level quite yet. That's not a knock on him. I think he has. He can be there 100% in the next couple of years. But now, I think a solid, mid card title run would be great for him.
Yep. No, I agree because here's how I look at that. I think him doing that program with MJF is him showing like, hey, I can hang up here. So I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna dominate and I'm gonna kick some ass, and then here in the next year, maybe two, you'll see me right up here.
Yeah, I see about a year and a half. So here's one of the good things I have to say about AEW this week. It's Ricky Starks on the mic. Obviously, we know Jericho came out afterwards, and they went back and forth a little bit. It's Jericho and Ricky. They're not, they're both good on the mic. It's exactly what you thought it would be. It's Jericho, Starks with mics in their hands. Jackie, I'm just saying, I am repping the merch. Move these out.
I like it.
Yeah, I love this hoodie. I wear this hoodie all the time. Anyway, but yeah, it's exactly what you thought it would be when you hear those two names with microphones in their hands, and I got nothing bad to say about it. That's one of the few things I don't have anything bad to say about from this episode. So,
yeah, what's crazy is a lot of people thought that our the guy Action Andretti would not show up and not be on TV, and
We got him.
I we got him. Yeah, no, Action Andretti showed up and came in for the save after the Jericho Appreciation Society came out and um, tried to harass Ricky Starks. So it was super cool. I dug it quite a bit. Want to give a shout out to Jacobite Games trying this new trying this new. Did that work? I don't know if it worked. Can anybody confirm that worked? I have no idea, which is awesome. There we go. It showed up in the chat. Okay, cool. Cool. That's what I was worried about. Slowpoke Dad, appreciate you joining, sir. Says you're a first time chatter. If you haven't already, man, make sure you hit that follow button. This is the AEW Dynamite post show. We talk about Dynamite on here. Absolutely, Jackie. I love you. And I appreciate. Yep, I appreciate. I appreciate you sticking with the Messiahs of Chaos and making sure that we got that tag team title shot. So, anyways. I don't know if you guys know or not, but Dustin got a new light, so we can see Dustin's smooth face. And I wanted to
just not put it up.
I know I wanted to see the
put it though. I don't know.
I wanted to, because usually I like to throw little jabs at you about the Messiahs of Chaos beating you guys for the tag team titles, but I couldn't see your face, so I'm like, man, that takes the fun out of it. So I saw you got a.
I got another one. I was trying to figure out where to set it up, and it's just kind of. I'm gonna figure it out. I got to mess with it a little bit more.
No, you're good, man. It looks 1,000 times better. So
yeah.
Yep. As soon as I saw this comment, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
So here's a lovely thing, right? Is I can do this because and now he's in timeout. He wants to be bad. He's in timeout. That's how that works.
So yeah, Action Andretti hit the ring, clearing the ring with Hager, Garcia, and Guevara before laying out Jericho with a split-legged moonsault. And then the last thing we saw was Action Andretti and Ricky Starks. So that's cool. Like I said, man, I was worried, and so were a lot of people, that after Action Andretti got that big win, he became all elite, that they were just going to kind of throw him in some AEW Dark or AEW Elevation matches, or possibly even some Rampage matches. But to have him open up Dynamite again, and for him to get that big pop, that kid's not even from Texas, so he's from the East Coast.
It seems like they're gonna run that Jericho storyline. They're gonna run that storyline with him and Jericho, which is gonna be great for the kid, especially if Jericho puts him over.
Absolutely. Jake Boss, appreciate you joining, sir.
Absolutely. It's we're gonna see what happens with it. We're gonna see how well they do with it, and from there I will make my assessments. Absolutely. As of right now, it's not gonna. It's looking like it's gonna be pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, he's a fantastic talent. Like if you can spare the $9.99 a month, guys, I highly recommend getting IWTV. IWTV has a fantastic library of independent professional wrestling around the country, and like I said, Action Andretti works a lot on the East Coast. So it was great to see him. So we'll get into I'll let you start this off, my friend. The Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, with Don Callis, take on Death Triangle in match 5 of the best of 7. This one was no holds barred, so anything goes.
Hit the wrong button. Um, yeah, it's the elite versus the death triangle. It's not much we haven't seen 4 times before, except for now there was weapons involved. Um, I'll say this. I'll find a couple nice things to say here. I like the continuation of the selling from Nick on his ankle or his foot or whatever it was that he messed up last week. I like him continuing with that. That's cool. It adds another layer to the storyline. Once again, we knew it. We all knew what was going to happen. I'm with Hunter here. It's we knew the elite were going to win. I'm not surprised. If anybody is surprised, then I have a lot of questions to start off with. What's it like living with Patrick Starr? That's my first question. If you were surprised by the elite winning that match, um, yeah,
It's a SpongeBob reference for anybody that
yeah.
didn't get
He
that.
because Patrick lives under a rock. It
Yeah.
was yeah. Um, yeah. I listen to Viking clip that because it's not going to be very often on this episode, unfortunately.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Dustin. Like I said before, before you came on as a co-host in this show, I was the most vocal about. There's a clip on here of me calling it the same way that you called it last week. Or a couple weeks ago. The Bucks would go down 3-1 or whatever, and then they'd come back and make a triumph return, blah blah blah. And at the end of it, I was like, who gives a fuck? But I'll be honest with you. I am starting to, because the reality is when these two teams get together, the Bucks and the Lucha Bros, and even adding Kenny and Pac into it. When they get together, they do a lot of great stuff in the ring. You are right. You can only see the same thing over and over again. There is some things where we as wrestling fans can go, oh, I could watch those two wrestle every day of the week. And then when they start wrestling every
Every
week,
day of the week, it
yeah,
gets a
then
little
you're
old
like,
after a while.
yeah, I kind of take that back a little bit. So,
Yeah,
it's the same thing
it's
with this. But that wasn't the case for me. The case for me was I was just sour on the Bucks for a while, and I
yeah.
still am. But I'm trying to appreciate, like, hey, we're still getting something good on TV. Um, you know, it regardless, like I said, those 6 guys getting in the ring together create magic. Um, to say something positive about it. Like I said, I want to end on a positive note before we move on from this match. It is, like I said, those 6 guys in the ring do create magic. It's always very entertaining. It's always, yes, it's a spot fest. My theory is a spot fest belongs on a wrestling card, but as long as every match is in a spot fest, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, my perfect card is just something a little bit of everything. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Um,
look, I'm gonna say this, and this is not anything I've said prior is not at all a reflection of my opinion on their in ring ability. Those 6 men
yeah,
can absolutely go. So
absolutely.
me not being super hyped about it is not at all me saying that they're not good. They are good. They are 6 of the best in the world today, and
Absolutely.
they have it. So I wanted to make sure that that was clear. It's not at all me saying that I don't like them. I don't like their wrestling. I'm just tired of seeing them do this. I am thankful that there are only 3 matches left. Or is it 2 matches now?
Two.
Two
Yep.
matches
This
left.
was this was match 5, so we got 2
Yeah.
left.
So I got next week and then one more go, and then I can finally
Yep.
be done with it and see something
Unless
different.
unless they decide to run
I
it
fucking run
back.
it back for another fucking best of 7. Who knows? It's Tony. I couldn't tell you. No.
No, we'll get to March and we'll get blood and guts
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony's still going to use blood and guts as a
Yeah. He's gonna
jab at,
figure.
at
Yeah.
WWE and War Games. So
Yeah. I mean,
no.
I don't know why. Or if you're getting trios to run it for money instead of a shot at post. Exactly. Raz, they're billing it as it's for money. I do believe that the winner of that
Yeah,
will
I would
also
imagine
get
the
a title
winner.
shot. If they
Yeah,
don't, I have a great many questions.
yeah,
First among them is what the fuck. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Second, are they really going to be? I always hate it when people do that. I always hate it when the people do the money matches because I know it's stipulation and I know it's TV. Are you are you actually going to give to these guys? Because I'm I'm really, you know, I'm a pro wrestler guy. Like I don't care about the company. I could care less about the bookers and I could care less about the weasels that run the company. I care about the talent. So when you say that they're going to win $300,000, are you actually going to pay those guys $300,000? You sly motherfuckers, you like WWE used to do that
Well,
shit.
so
And
the way it's billed is that it's $300, $300,000 for the whole trio, which is 100,000 a piece.
yeah, still,
So,
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's
I
what
would
all I'm
sign
saying
me
is
up. Sign me up.
all I'm,
I love
yeah, of
100K.
course.
Like,
But
I'm fucking
I
broke
always hate it in
anyway.
wrestling. I always hate it in wrestling when they do these cash
Yeah.
stipulations and matches because I'm always like it always grinds my teeth because I'm always like, are you really going to pay those guys the money you say you're going to as a bonus to win the match? No, because you booked them to win. So
Right.
because when you book them to win, you know, of course. But so that's always my problem. I've always hated that. Like, can we not do money stipulations, please? Because I know
Money
you're
in the
not going to pay those guys. Yeah, Money in the Bank's different, but you know, there's no money in that. There's no actual money in that briefcase. Like I
It's just a
said,
contract.
in
I'm pretty sure the briefcase itself is actually empty all of the time.
oh yeah,
Like,
1,000%.
but it's yeah. Anyway, that's not what we're
Yeah,
talking about here.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Next up,
Absolutely. Real quick, I do want to get to some of these comments, you know, because this is a user, or I mean, this is a community active
yeah,
show.
yeah.
So I do want to remind everybody after Dustin and I get done breaking down AEW Dynamite, we're gonna be sharing the link out for you, yes, you watching this right now, to come on and talk to us about and tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, kind of give us your thoughts. So stay tuned with us. Don't go anywhere. You know, like I said, you'll get an opportunity to come on the show with us towards the end there. So,
I would like to formally request a one each Jacobite games. I know we're gonna get him a little later on tonight, or no, it's Wednesday. We don't get Jacobite tonight, so I need me a little bit of Jacobite. I need that moistness. So if that's a possibility, I
I
would
think
greatly appreciate
if
that.
if I remember correctly, doesn't Jacobite? I think Jacobite has an interview tonight, doesn't he?
Does he have an
Or was that
interview?
last week?
That was last
Or was
week.
that last week? Okay, I want to bite a
Or the
Jacobite.
week before. So he usually doesn't do anything on Wednesdays, which makes my
I'm
Wednesdays very sad.
I have
Um,
a question. Why did Kay change her name from or why did Kay change her name from Thirsty Kay? Because she's
so
still according to this comment, she's very still thirsty. Very.
she was one, and then she was thirsty, and now she's okay. Um, and it's yeah, it's I don't know. Look, I don't know. I thought that last name. Yeah, this is that last comment's true. Um, yeah,
Steven Chambers, appreciate you joining, brother. He says House of Black Future Cheerios champion. Um Axel says there's a lot of glare coming off of that dome of yours. uh only I think only Raz and myself would get that uh I've heard it tastes good. All right. That got weird real quick.
yeah.
Anyways,
I leave
next
this to their
next
own devices.
next segment.
I just let that go. We can just ignore their interactions. It'll be all right. Try to keep this
So
kid friendly, and
kid
it's not
friend.
fucking working. Oh,
Last week, we see footage from last week where MJF scurrying away from Brian Danielson. MJF, they caught up with MJF after he ran away from Brian Danielson. He called him a gutless prick who robbed MJF of his moment of his first title defense. And then he said he pretty much gave a warning to Bryan Danielson and said that he desires more than he deserves. Tony Schiavone interviewed Action Andretti backstage, who said his life has changed since the biggest upset of his life. Action Andretti called it the biggest upset of the decade, and said he had Ricky Starks back out there. And Angelo Parker and Magic Matt Menard interrupted and said he's on fire. And as Andrade turned around, he was hit with a fucking stupid ass fireball from Chris Jericho.
They really like their hairspray and lighters. Because let's be honest, it's exactly what that is. They take a little lighter, they just used to do all the time.
Yeah. Of course. I still do.
But yeah. Yeah, it's
I get that Jericho does the wizard thing, but
he wasn't doing it when he was the Ring of Honor champion, and I was like, yes, we are not.
Yeah, so now we're back to the wizard,
and now we're back to it. And I'm like, all right, just put the fucking Ring of Honor title back on. If that's what I have to deal with for him to not do the wizard shit, put the title back on him. Like, just put it back on him. I don't want to deal with that.
Real quick, Kay. One of the things you said is true, and that is the Axe body spray does the best. It does not smell good. So
some of them do it. I'll give her credit. Yeah. Some of them don't smell terrible.
Nope. When I'm on Sports Empire's channel, Axel, I didn't go on this one, or I didn't go on mine because I'm going to save mine for like clips and stuff like that and bad booking. But anyways, she says Phoenix smells good. Yeah, Phoenix smelled good back in 2002. So I'm not big on I'm giving K shit. I'm not big on Axe anymore. When I think of Axe, I think of little douchebag teenagers that run around.
I think of ninth graders that just use it instead of showering. But so to go back to the Action Andretti thing,
you're definitely from the Midwest.
Absolutely. Of course, Axel still uses Axe. Yeah. Anyway, see, now I'm getting sidetracked with this. Yeah. So Action Andretti cut that promo, which is the first I've ever seen of him cutting a promo. I'm sure, Chase, you've seen more. I'm sure there's a handful of people who have seen a lot more out of him. I have not. So there's that full transparency there. It seemed very cookie cutter babyface. And I mean, that's the expectation for him right now, is just
of course
babyface, cookie cutter babyface. There's something there. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's something there that tells me that give him a live mic and let him just go, and he'll do pretty fucking good. So we got a little taste of him in ring last week. We got a little bit of promo work from him this week. I see a bright future for him. If not in AEW, somewhere else for sure, Impact, or maybe they send him to Ring of Honor. I see a bright future for him there. I think he can go very well, and I'm very much intrigued to see what they have in store for him in the future. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, yeah, no, I mean, what I liked about it was, like, yeah, like, it was a very babyface cookie cutter promo, but the great part about it is he didn't sound awkward doing it. Sometimes, because obviously Andretti's been in the business for a little bit, not very long actually, just a few years. So I mean, like, he's not a seasoned vet, but he has been around. And for it being the type of promo it was good to see that it wasn't awkward. Because sometimes when some of those guys jump on that microphone like that have only been in the business as long as he has, they do sound super awkward, and they do sound like they're not supposed to be there. So it was good. Renee Paquette was in the ring. She interviewed Brian Danielson. Um, so it looked like we were on a collision course to see Brian Danielson and MJF. It looks like we're not going to get it just yet because I think what
I'm
they
thankful
want to
for that.
do, yeah, I think what they want to do is they want to save it for Revolution, and Revolution usually
100%.
happens in February.
So
So
there's a
right
little
now,
graphic. So there's a little graphic that said March 9th that I
that's
spotted
right.
during.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
it's March. So we
Yep.
have
They're
from now
pushing it
until
out.
March to build this,
Yep.
which I'm not going to complain about. It gives time for there to be a little bit of hoops for Danielson to run through, and it gives time for MJF to do his his little thing of being the heel. And like, you thought you're not getting it, no, because he did say that the only time he's defending the title is on pay per view, right after he won it. So it just it sets up a lot of things. I imagine him and Ethan Page are gonna have a good match or two, and yeah.
I agree. AW is gimmick infringing my boys. I don't. I don't know
I
who
don't
your
know what
boys
he's
are.
talking about. I don't know.
I don't know.
I ignore half of what he says 98% of the time.
It's
So
sometimes sometimes Axel has some really good stuff to say, but
some
it is important. It is important that yes, you do ignore about 90% of it, just because sometimes it goes completely.
sometimes he just says stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what was the thought process going into that statement, or was that like just word vomit? Did you eat a dictionary and just start puking out words? Like, he could
So
just not fun.
my favorite part of this Daniel Bryan interview came and Axel referenced it earlier when he mentioned the glare coming off of that chrome dome of yours. It's a movie line from one of the best movies of all time, Ready to Rumble. Anyways, um, but it was also referencing the comment during that he made towards Stokely Hathaway.
Mhm.
Uh, and hey, you know what? Stokely Hathaway is the first guy to call somebody out for dick riding without a dick riding license. And here I am. I'm going to start dick riding Stokely Hathaway, and I ain't got no dick riding license. So,
You raggedy bitch.
you raggedy
That
bitch.
was my favorite part. Was just the way he said that, not
Yeah.
once but twice. Just you raggedy bitch.
Yeah.
You raggedy
Uh,
bitch. Like, he just slipped that one in there, and it was great.
yep. Fucking Jackie knows. I will rule you after I finish these here beers.
All right,
Anyways,
we're not doing that.
we're not because Axel and I will go all night
Yeah.
as you've seen before. Uh, anyways, Stokely Hathaway. I made this comment in a watch along I was doing with Tantalizing Tony. If you don't know who Tantalizing Tony is, go check him out. Tantalizing Tony. Our good friend ABJ is over at Tantalizing Tony, so definitely go give him some love. Anyways, in the chat, I had mentioned that, and I've said it several times before, and I'll say it on here, and so it's on record and on video and on my channel, and I can account for it. Had it, or if it was not for Paul Heyman, Stokely Hathaway would hands down be the best out of ring character in wrestling today. Hands down. If it wasn't for Paul Heyman, when Stokely Hathaway was Malcolm Belvins in NXT, he was the shit. And now that he's in AEW, Stokely Hathaway, he's the shit. If I was a talent, I would beg. I would get on both knees, all fours, and beg, literally like a dog, to have Stokely Hathaway as my mouthpiece or my manager. If I was a wrestler, I would, I would like. It, Ethan Page doesn't need Stokely Hathaway. Um, I already think Ethan Page is here without Stokely Hathaway. But Will Morrissey or Big Bill is going to benefit from having Stokely Hathaway. All
So,
those guys that Stokely Hathaway is with, he's going to benefit all those guys. Need a towel for that drool chase? No, I got my shirt.
um,
By the way,
you
it's
said
not
today,
drool,
right?
Scott.
You
Huh?
said you said best like out of ring character today, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, because had you said all time, I'd have had a couple of retorts for that.
Uh,
But being
no,
today,
like I
yeah,
said, if Paul Heyman wasn't in the business anymore,
and
then he would
so
hands down.
so I would
Is this
say
is this redeemable? Right?
she's probably trying to redeem something on my channel right now. Yeah, she's trying to redeem push-ups. Um, yeah, it's okay.
let's fucking do it, man. No, did she pay channel points for those push-ups? We better fucking get those push-ups, boy. Oh, you better flatten that back. That's right. That's right, guys. Name another post wrestling show where you can pay channel points to have the co-host fucking
Do
do
push-ups.
push-ups.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Uh,
anyway,
we don't put it behind a paywall either, guys. On
yeah, no,
Fightful, you go to Fightful Select right now. They want you to pay a super chat or a humper chat to get your comment read on screen. I got your comments right here, and Kate just paid channel points to have our boy Dustin do some push-ups.
yeah.
So
There used to not be a cooldown on it until they started spamming it, and I was like, yeah, nope, I can only do so many.
that would be the shit. God, that would be the
But
shit.
yeah, so
Kate just wanted to see him on the floor.
pretty much. So
Uh,
yeah, Stokely. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say out of ring character. I would
yep.
say manager,
Yeah.
which I mean is
Well,
kind of the
and the
same
reason
thing.
why the reason why I said out of ring character is because even manage there's not very many managers in wrestling anymore.
No, there's really not, and I miss those.
So, and
As
that's
it's
why that's why I
moments
was
that
like
we
out
miss
of
to
ring
have.
character. I mean,
I mean, like
I'm
so
talking commentators. I'm talking
Pat
backstage
McAfee,
interviewers. I'll
Pat
take Stokely
McAfee.
Hathaway, bro. I'll take Stokely Hathaway. And the reason why I say in wrestling because this is where I would redeem myself is because Pat McAfee is one of the best in all of television. Pat McAfee could go call fucking horse riding and I'd watch that shit.
Yeah,
Pat McAfee could call NASCAR and I'd fucking watch that shit. You won't
Pat
ever
McAfee,
catch me watching
Pat
NASCAR.
McAfee could call tennis and I would watch it. He could
Hands
call
down.
he could call golf and I would watch it.
Yep.
Like he
A
can make
thousand
anything
percent.
entertaining.
Yeah. So
He's
that's
just
that's
different.
where that's where I'll redeem myself. I said
And
Stokely Hathaway
that's
was
why I try to
best
amend you
wrestling.
to manager, because really
Yeah.
when you think managers and
Yeah.
wrestling today, you think of like three names maybe: Paul, MVP, and Stokely.
Yep.
It's like it's those three guys, and it's like it's Paul, Stokely, MVP in that order.
Yep.
Um,
Pat
yeah,
McAfee on commentary for your bedroom shenanigans. See, that's fun though, Scott. We were trying to think of things that we would never watch. I
yeah.
watch my bedroom shenanigans all the time, so
Um,
I've got a whole library of them.
yeah.
Anyway,
So, yeah, it's Stokely,
yep.
and called Daniel or Brian Danielson a raggedy bitch.
You raggedy bitch.
I loved it. I loved it. They've definitely pushed the envelope with this one, uh,
Yeah.
with this Dynamite this week when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know if
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say yeah. I want to get into that later.
well, yeah,
I
we'll
want to
get
wait
we'll
for
get
that part
into it.
of the
We'll
show.
we'll get there. Because right now, um, they showed FTW champion Hook, which I hate. I always hate referring to him as FTW champion because I don't care about the FTW championship.
I don't think anybody does.
Anyways, yeah, nobody cares about that title. Um, Hook came out and faced Exodus Prime in a squash match. We saw Stokely Hathaway backstage again with William Morrissey, W. Morrissey, and Lee Moriarty beating down Jungle Boy and then choke slammed him into the dumpster.
Rookie
Uh,
performance.
yep. And Hook, whoa.
Hey, you said yep to it and then carried on. So just let's just keep rolling.
Okay, Kay. Jiminy Christmas.
Turn your Facebook alerts off.
Gosh. But so what I hated about this was like Hook just walked out of the ring like he didn't give a shit. Like, anytime, like if my tag team partner, like, and I know they're not officially a tag team, but I mean, that's what they were trying to imply, like,
Well,
hey, like here's your
what
boy
happened.
here's your boy who you just saved last week. We just choke slammed him in the dumpster. And then Hook just got out of the ring and just like walked up the ramp like, whatever.
Well, if you think about it, right? Think about what Taz said on commentary. He was like, "Did you talk to him about why he did that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I felt like it." And then he walked away.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it really that deep for Hook? Probably not. It was probably like, I'm bored. I want to fight somebody. Hey, look, here's an opportunity for me to go fight somebody. It was one of those type things. I don't know. It's Hook's character is less showy than Orange Cassidy, but about the same. Just no real care in the world.
Yeah. We got John Moxley against Darius Martin. And I'm going to be honest with you. This was the second best match of the night.
What was the best?
The main event.
I mean, I guess
up until the end, I mean, it was a good match.
Hmm.
The end got real screwy, but both of those women went great. So
yeah.
So, but yeah, this was the second best match of the night, and that's not a knock. I mean, Moxley went out and carried Darius Martin. Well, I was a little worried about Darius Martin because I know he's I'm joking, but that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say made of glass, but injury prone is probably a better way to say it. So I was a little worried about him. Yeah, but I thought it was good, and after the match, Moxley had kind of Moxley cut that promo earlier in the show, and I don't know, man. I feel like we are getting closer to a Moxley heel turn.
Yeah.
Lennon, appreciate you joining, sir. But yeah, I don't know, man. As the closer we get to this Mox and Hangman Adam Page stuff, the closer I feel like Mox is going to be the one to turn. And then I know they asked Daniel or Brian Danielson about where the Blackpool Combat Club was right now, and there was a lot of questions being raised about that. So I think going forward, I think the Blackpool Combat Club is just going to be Yuta and Claudio.
Yeah.
So, sorry. That was
so following that, I'm trying to remember what came after that.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I went back and watched it because I want to talk about this Book of Hobbs promo.
Mm-hmm.
There was I have to watch how I say this. There was a Hobbs said he was, when he was 3 years old, he saw his uncle overdose on the floor, and as a child he was beaten and he had been stabbed and shot in his life. And then he said, or after beaten, he said robbed. When I was watching that live, it sounded like he said something else. So I was, like I said, I had to go back and watch that. So,
yeah,
like I said,
I didn't hear that. I heard the robbed. I didn't hear what I'm imagining.
I did not hear the robbed. I was like,
different.
Bro, did he just? And that's what's so funny about you mentioned what's funny about you mentioning, about how this show had a lot of like,
Push the
because I was
envelope
like,
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
push the envelope things. Obviously,
Yeah.
that was the part that was funny, like not the fact that you mentioned it, not the fact that he said something else. So,
Yeah. So I'm going to be careful about how I say this when it comes to these vignettes of the Book of Hobbes. Um, yes, it gives the character depth, and I'm not going to complain about that. My issue is that it's, yeah, I guess he's from Oakland, and that's normal. It sounds very stereotypical to me,
yeah, no,
and
yeah,
I,
no,
it's
I can agree with that. Like,
and it's like, could
um,
he have gone through all of his stuff legit? Sure, it's Oakland. It's what it is.
yeah,
But at the same time, it's like
it.
how much
We
is
talked
real
about
and
cookie.
how
We
much.
talked about cookie. We talked
Yeah,
about cookie cutter earlier, and I agree with you. I feel like that's kind of cookie cutter to just like Hobbs has so much going for himself. I feel like it's a disadvantage to him and his character to um
for sure.
to uh to to bring that up and do these vignettes the way.
Yeah,
So yes, I agree with you. I don't think that's controversial at all. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I
right.
think they're doing a disservice to him to, you know, to put him in these vignettes when he has an immense amount of talent and can do the character just fine. So,
I think they're just doing these vignettes because they don't know what to do with him.
yep, agreed,
They want to do
agreed.
something with him, which is good to see, but they don't know what yet. And they want them run, and they
Yep.
want to run this Joe and Wardlow storyline before they just kind of kick on to Hobbs with the TNT title. So, which I imagine is what's coming next.
Um. So, I think I'll let you take the reins on this because I think we're at your favorite part of the night, bud. Um. This
FTR
the
versus the Guns.
FTR
Um,
versus the Gun Club in a non-title match.
yeah. Um, I can't say I loved it. Can't say I hated it. Um, they played off of Dax's tailbone issue. They them being all beat up and banged up from the dog collar match, which is fair. It They went up against the Briscoes. Yep, it's fair. They're going to be beaten, banged. They played a big role into why they lost. Then a roll up, little slick shit pin. Guns win. They didn't win clean, which is the big thing for me.
Yep.
It was not clean. So with it not being clean, it's like, okay, maybe AEW isn't just throwing in the towel on FTR. It's not a clean win. Obviously, they're both hurt and banged up. Um, Cash went hard because he's trying to compensate for Dax being hurt.
Exactly.
He put himself in some bad
Exactly.
spots. That was a roll up with a little help from the brother on the outside. That's, yeah, fair enough. Um, do I see them running in this back? For sure. They're
A
definitely going to
thousand
run this
percent.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to
And
get a tag team title shot. So
they're, yeah, but which one? Is it going to be the AAA? Is it going to be the IWGP? Like, which one?
I don't know.
Like if they face the Guns again and it's for a title, which one's it going to be?
I
Um,
can see it being for the IWGP. So
but like at the same time, how is New Japan gonna feel about that one? If anything,
they can
I feel
defend.
like
Yeah, I could see
I,
them. I'm sure they would contact WWE and ask and make sure it's okay with, or not WWE. I think they would contact New Japan and confirm with New Japan like, hey, we're gonna have a title defense, and if New Japan wants, New Japan can. New Japan already has a partnership with AEW. They stream AEW stuff on New Japan World.
and they seem to
So
be getting a budding relationship with WWE. So New Japan's out here
Noah
playing things.
Noah does not.
Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, they are still
Yeah,
working for New Japan.
yeah,
So it's like New Japan's smart about this. They're playing both sides. They're playing from
yeah.
AEW. They're playing from WWE. They're
I don't
gaining
think
more than
they're
what they lose.
I, I don't think they're playing both sides. I think they're utilizing the relationship and saying like, hey,
Mhm.
like we are legitimately open for business.
Yeah, they're not shy about the
Whereas
fact that they want their wrestlers to have more opportunities. And
Yep.
it's like, they got Carl over in WWE. As far as I know, still the strong open weight champion or whatever it was that he held. I can never remember the name of all their
Yep.
titles. And then, obviously the IWGP tag titles are rocking out with FTR over in AEW. Rumors are circulating about Switchblade popping in for the Rumble, which if we can get like an AJ Finn and Switchblade face off in the Rumble, take my money,
Yep.
take it all. I'll give it all to
Yeah.
you. Um,
Yeah. I agree.
but yeah, New Japan's really smart about this. They're doing it in a way that neither company can be like, I'm not going to do this because you're still working with them. And I don't think either company would risk that because everybody's kind of benefiting from it in a way.
Yep. Yeah.
Obviously WWE is getting some more of that Japanese audience that New Japan has a stranglehold on almost. They're kind of pulling that. New Japan's getting exposure from WWE and from AEW. AEW is getting that Japanese audience as well. They're doing really good with mixing this around, and it makes me hopeful for the future.
Agreed. Yeah, no, and especially with WWE in the position that they're in right now, being able to, I don't think that WWE is going to have a working relationship with AEW anytime soon.
Maybe in a decade.
But maybe, yeah, I would maybe a couple years, a few years might take a might take a little bit of mending fences there for them to,
Well,
for
I,
them
I've
to.
I've noticed something as of late. The shots that AEW almost took almost weekly on WWE have kind of stopped of like the last 3-4 weeks. I haven't
Yep.
really heard a lot of shots at WWE. The one time WWE was kind of mentioned in the show this week was Brian Danielson talking about Sean, um,
Yep.
and that was kind of that's kind of it. Outside
Yep.
of MJF saying that he can go back, that you know Regal got fired from that company and he's going to go there, the bidding war 2024. Nothing negative has been said about WWE, so I think it's leading towards Tony being like, all right, Vince is no longer in charge. Paul is somebody we can work with over there, and I pulled out the government name for Triple H. Um,
Yep.
it's yeah,
Uh,
it's potential.
No, and I agree. I think, like I said, what is going on?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Sorry. Um, no, I think that I think it's best. I think it's best that these companies do kind of keep off of that. The notion that they're making strikes at each other. It's okay to take jabs here or there. But
Mm-hmm.
doing it so much and doing it every week is not for the thing. I do want to clarify something else too. That seems to be like really popular that I've seen on social media. Um, just because WWE name drops Mox on TV, that does not mean that Moxley is going back to WWE.
Yeah,
So I cannot stand that. That is so weird to me. Like, uh, Austin Theory mentioned, Mox and the
he didn't
Shield.
really mention it by name. He just said that
I know, like,
that's the third
and
most
that's
successful member of the Shield, and it's like, to be
and then
fair,
like there's a
being the
bunch of
third
news
most
articles
successful,
on like
yeah, being the third
there's a
most
bunch of
successful
news
member of
articles on.
that faction is not a knock.
No,
Um,
not at all.
like
And I don't know if I would call Seth the third most.
it's
That's
it's it's Roman 1, and then Seth 2A and Dean 2B
is it
or
Roman
Mox.
one? Is it Roman one?
Longest reigning world title reign in the modern era,
Yeah,
undisputed champion. I have to give him that nod.
yeah,
He's been
absolutely,
running the company for the last
absolutely.
2 years. I have to give him that
Yeah,
nod. And
yeah.
I'm not saying it's by a
But
mile. It's like if anything, it's 1A, 1B, 1C.
yeah, and that's what I would agree with. I hate being like there's a clear number one, because I mean, like, yes, I agree with you. Roman's been champ for 2 years and
And Slam
done a
champion
lot
as
of
well.
and done a lot of great things. But let's not ignore the fact that Seth has been over like Rover since he left the Shield. They didn't need to mold or change or do anything with Seth to get Seth over.
Outside
Seth
of
has been
just
over
staying
since he left the
relevant
Shield.
variations.
and then that's the other thing too is like, um, that's the other thing too is like Dean, or Mox has been over like Rover.
in AEW. He's been with
Even in
one of the
WWE, I mean,
like especially in AEW since he
you
showed
go
up. He's
back
been
and
one
you
of the
go back
biggest
and
stars
watch the
in
Money in the
WWE.
Bank. Watch the Money in the Bank he won, and then when he came out and cashed that in, that's one of the loudest pops I've ever heard, dude. That pop
The
was
night that all three
huge.
members of the Shield held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Yep.
That was a great night.
So I mean, like I know everybody wants to automatically hand that number one spot to Roman because of how awesome Roman's been the past couple of years, but that's 2 years, dude. Like Seth
in the
and
last
Seth and Seth and John, or Seth and Mox and Dean, or whoever, whatever you want to call them, have been over. Like I said, the companies,
over
WWE didn't have to manipulate Seth to get Seth over.
it was
Seth was over.
with for WWE's sake, we'll say Dean and Seth were very organically over. It was the
Yep.
fans just organically gravitated towards them.
Yep.
With Roman, there was the resistance there for the first few years of like not wanting of the fans not wanting
What's up, Dean?
yeah not wanting Roman in that top spot. Roman kind of slipped away, and obviously he got leukemia, which thank God he's better
Yeah.
with that. And then when he came back, he kind of wasn't really back. He was just kind of there. Um, they did a little bit with him with the Shield and Dean's farewell thing, and then he kind of disappeared again. And
So
then he
when
came back
COVID,
as
so
yeah
when COVID happened, he was very adamant. In fact, there
about
was a
not
lot
wanting
of
to do
talk.
it because of his
Yeah, there was a
because
lot of talk that he was going to hinder his relationship with WWE because WWE wanted him to stay, and he told WWE he's like, I'm not coming back
yeah no, and
until
I
I know it's
100%
safe.
I don't
He's
blame
like,
him.
my wife's pregnant and I'm in remission, so I'm
Right.
not coming
Like I
back.
100% don't blame him for that. And when that
Yeah,
whole thing was going on, people were like, "Oh, he just can't do his job." Like, no, he's putting his health first. The health, by the
yeah,
way, that WWE does not pay for.
yep,
Um,
yeah,
and so then he came back as the head of the table, the tribal chief, and has
yep.
been on an absolute fucking tear. Wreck
This is his
everyone.
best. This was it. This was his best shirt. I had to buy this one.
I like
Sorry.
the God one. To be fair though, all the merch he's popped out over the last 2 years has been pretty fucking good. It's
It
it's
has,
like it's
except
been
for
pretty.
acknowledge your daddy. If
I
I
don't know.
catch
I
a
like
grown
that one
man,
too.
if I catch a grown man walking around wearing a Roman Reigns t-shirt that says "Acknowledge your daddy," I'm gonna make fun of you.
What
I'm
about the
sorry.
dudes walking around wearing daddy ass shirts?
That's different.
I don't. It's not.
No. I'm not
Anyway,
going to acknowledge another man as I'm not going to
hey,
acknowledge another man as my daddy.
well,
That's weird.
um, that was yeah. I'll say that that wasn't his best one, but they were all still
I'll
pretty good.
wiggle I'll wiggle fingers with another man. That's
Anyway,
not weird at all.
so we're doing this again, Chase. We need to stop doing
Yes, I know.
this.
I know.
What are we on to next? Let's get the show back
We
on track.
are we are on the Sanjay Dutt rap. I almost forgot about this.
Do I not have it? I'm gonna use my Uno skip card on this one. I'm just not.
What? Are you serious?
I'm just not gonna touch it. If you want to talk about it, feel free. I'll just sit here. I'm using my skip card here.
We appreciate you, Mick. I can't believe it, man. That's weird. It was awesome. It was the greatest. It wasn't the greatest, but it was great. It was awesome. Sanjay Dutt fucking killed it, bro. And then the t-shirts they wore. Oh man, it was good stuff. I thought it was awesome. So, anyways,
Next,
you're not the only one that hated it though.
I didn't hate it. It's just not good.
I thought this rap was a lot better than this segment after the rap, which was Rick Ross mediating the Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee face off that we never got because Swerve never got in the ring, and Rick Ross is so fucking annoying. Like, bro, like
You a
I
big
like Rick
motherfucker.
Ross's.
I like how
Bro,
he slipped down. That was the one thing
how
that
do
I
you
liked
let
about,
him get away with saying that on TV?
especially with the 5 second delay that they have. They knowingly
Yeah.
let that one happen. Um,
No way.
so that's the one good thing.
Accusations.
That's the one good thing about that entire segment. That segment was a fucking mess from start to
Yep.
finish. It was just
Yeah.
not good.
It
Lacked
wasn't.
literally
It was
any type of
done
entertainment.
very. It was done very weird. Like I said, Rick Ross had no business in there. If
No,
because
why?
um, I get why. Like he has a connection to both guys. Like whatever,
What the
fine.
fuck's the point?
But he has no point of like. It should have just
Mediating
been
shit.
yeah. And if he was going to
For
mediate
him
it,
to
he should have.
be for him to be the mediator made no sense. Now, like if it was like a backstage squabble and like he got in between, and was like, hey, yo, no, y'all. Like, and if he did that, that's one thing. For him to be the acknowledged mediator of that situation, L, the
Yep.
biggest fucking L
Yeah.
in existence.
And the only thing I like, the only thing I liked about it, man, um, I liked and I didn't. I'm kind of indifferent. I don't know how I feel about it. They made Keith look really strong because they bring in Parker Bordeaux, who's a big dude, and Parker hits him several times and can't knock him down. Like he legitimately doesn't knock Keith Lee down. So they are building Keith Lee like he is just this
As
unstoppable
they should.
force.
As they should.
Agreed. Because if you go back to Keith Lee in NXT, Keith Lee was absolutely money.
Fucking loved Keith Lee in NXT.
Yeah.
Black and gold Keith
And
Lee.
Keith,
This just, I have to slip this one in here. The guys that left WWE and went to AEW when they were the guys like the Undisputed Era was minus Roderick Strong, Keith Lee, those guys, their peak, in my opinion, again, my very unprofessional opinion, I'm literally wearing an eFed merch shirt right now.
nothing wrong with
They
that.
were at their peak in Black and Gold NXT. That was their
Of
peak.
course. So I
Hey, Ashfield.
I agree with you. The thing that really sucks is like AEW takes the brunt of that. And I don't agree with that because AEW has done nothing wrong. The problem is I don't know if you remember or not, but Kyle and Cole
Got hurt.
were both asked before they left WWE. Kyle was asked to become a trainer. Cole was asked to become a manager. Why? Because their longevity. WWE knew they couldn't go very much longer. And we're seeing that now. They made the decision to leave WWE and go and
Which I don't blame them.
and do go to. I don't blame them at all. That's what they wanted to do. I just like it. It's like it. People act like it's a booking thing. Like AEW can't book Adam Cole. Adam Cole ran a program with CM Punk for the AEW Championship. Kyle O'Reilly was on the verge of running another program with Adam Cole. Because Kyle O'Reilly made it a point to tell him, like when he got there, he was like, "Yo, this doesn't change anything. Like we're cool for now." And he was like, "But eventually you have to answer to what you did before," referencing WWE. And so like, but the point is that those guys' longevity, man, like
Wasn't there.
it's not there. Yeah. So like I said, I agree. Like, because trust me, dude, I'll take any chance I can to knock AEW's booking because it's dog shit, and it wouldn't be dog shit if somebody would ask for help.
I
But
think
when
that
you've got four jobs and you're trying to book a wrestling company, it's time to delegate those tasks to some other people.
So with 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 Keith, because that was what started this whole thing. With Keith, I I'm gonna blame the booking with Keith. From
Yep.
both WWE and AEW. They both up until recently with
Bearcat.
AEW, the Bearcat thing was not good. And then like I don't understand the point of putting him with Swerve and giving them a tag title reign and all this. Keith Lee came in.
WWE used to do that.
Yeah,
WWE's favorite thing to do is when they've got two guys who are going. I'll give you a prime example. Cesaro and Sheamus when they were the Bar.
yeah,
I never
they
liked the
went from
Bar.
stagnant to a really great tag team. You cannot like the Bar, but you have to acknowledge that together those two had chemistry,
Absolutely,
and it
absolutely.
was. Did
Because
I like
they're
the
of
gimmick that
course they
they
had
had?
chemistry. Of course they had chemistry,
Yeah,
Dustin. They're really fucking good.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sheamus and
Yeah,
Cesaro are 100% some of the most slept on people in wrestling. Like
yeah,
them big boys,
yeah.
they
And
can go
then
at
and so like and AEW is doing the same. AEW did the same thing. You give them Swerve Strickland, who came over hot as can be, and then uh and then
Sorry.
um you gave you come over with Swerve Strickland, who was hot coming in, and then uh Keith Lee, who everybody was like, now, mind you, AEW knows what they have with Keith Lee, and they know that they're sleeping on Keith Lee because remember, Tony Khan called it his biggest free agent signing ever. So, um, which is fucking nuts because
So
we got Brian Danielson and Adam Cole in the same night, and then Tony turns around and says, "I got one better for you. I got the greatest free agent signing ever." And it's like, who the fuck is bigger than Adam Cole and Brian Danielson?
Keith Lee,
Keith Lee.
literally.
And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
argue with it.
Oh,
There's
so
a bunch of little wrestling nerds on the internet that are gonna shit on it and talk about how Keith was out of shape and blah blah blah.
it's
Don't
actually,
care.
since you brought that up, I want to talk about that. Keith coming into AEW looked out of shape compared to his WWE form. I don't know if it was
Compared
just
to his
how he was.
NXT form. I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw, but
yeah,
yeah.
but I don't know if it was just how he was wearing his clothes today or what it was, but it looked like he'd slimmed down quite a bit as of late.
He's toning.
Yeah,
So Keith
he's
has always
toning it
been
up.
like Mark Henry. Like Mark Henry always
Yeah,
looked fat, right? But we all know Mark Henry wasn't fat.
was the
You
world's
know,
strongest fucking man for a
yeah,
reason. Yeah.
of course.
Uh,
So, and that's what Keith. That's what you're seeing from Keith is Keith is
yeah.
starting to tone, and he looks really
And
good.
he's
And
looking
that's why I
good. And
said he.
I am a firm believer. Steven mentioned Samoa Joe and Miro, and I put them in this category as well.
Yep.
Big men who can fucking move. Those three men have no fucking business being as big as they are and moving as fast as they can. The
Yep.
explosion that you get from Joe and Keith Lee, I swear to God, please let me get a Samoa Joe Keith Lee match. Please, for the love of all things holy and for my soul, let me get that because that'll be a fucking banger and I'll bet money on it. But that aside, them big boys ain't got a reason to be moving like that.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you watch like NXT Joe and NXT Keith, them boys,
Yeah.
they go from a stop to 60 mile an hour faster than a fucking Ferrari. And
Yep.
it's insane. And boys go, and I love it. I love both of them. I have a thing for them big dudes who can move, and
Oh yeah.
it sounds really inappropriate, and somebody's gonna
No,
clip that
no,
out
it's
of
fine.
context.
Uh,
But
uh,
them
let him.
boys like that, like I love watching that because it's like it's another one of my favorite. It's just the sudden explosion. That's why I love Samoa Joe when he was in TNA.
Yep.
And his
Agreed. Yeah.
nonchalant with someone with that like high flying flip off the rope, and he just
Yeah.
walks out
The
the
move
way.
out of the way.
Just his demeanor when he does it is like, I can't believe you'd even fucking try that. Like he seems almost offended that they would even attempt it.
Hey, so speaking of Samoa Joe and Samoans, um, I have ADD like really bad, and you'll be able to tell, because on bad booking, there was something I wanted to highlight that you said on Bad Booking, and I wanted. By the time I got to it, I think you were gone.
I was there from start to finish.
Oh, you were okay. Well,
Yeah,
you had stopped
I just
commenting, so
started
like
learning. I just started
I
learning.
was gonna back up and go back to it, but I was like, Dustin's not here. I don't want to
I
back
was
up and
playing
do it.
Xbox.
So,
I said
but I
Xbox.
love. So when we were talking about like we were talking about Jacob Fatu and all that other stuff, and dude, like it just gave me goosebumps when I read your comment because you were like, imagine The Rock comes in and looks toe to toe with Roman and says, "You've got your bloodline and your family, and I've got
Mine.
mine."
Yeah, and
And
you get
then
all the boys.
Jacob, oh man,
Yeah,
uh,
it's that moment. Yeah, you guys, because at that time you guys were talking about I'm gonna need to crash that show
real
one
quick.
of these days. I just want you to know.
Yes, absolutely. Next time, because so here's what happened. ABJ when ABJ is hamburger doggy fried ketchup. That is um that is the second coolest username I've seen.
He's in my
That's
chat,
pretty
so
cool.
thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the Dynamite Post
hamburger
Show with Chase, aka
hamburger
CR
doggy fried.
Media. I'm gonna rate that one actually. That is one of the better ones I have seen. Again, it's
Yeah,
up there, top two. That's a solid 9 out of 10.
yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah,
Hot dog or hamburger
hamburger
doggy
doggy
fried
fried
ketchup.
ketchup.
Yep.
Um,
If it said if it the only thing that would put that username at a 10 is if it was hamburger hot doggy fried ketchup.
yeah,
If they had hot in front of
just
doggy.
add the hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's outstanding. Welcome to the Dynamite Post Show, my man. Um,
Hey, real quick.
anyway,
Hey, Mick. So that is Sports Empire Network, the YouTube page that you're following now. And Sports Empire Network has a lot of cool sports stuff on there. And then this show is on that as well. Since ABJ is gone, we're no longer broadcasting on ABJ's YouTube channel. So the Sports Empire Network YouTube is what you'll see the Post Dynamite
maybe
show
I should
on, Mick.
fire up YouTube. Maybe not. Yeah. So yeah, it was just outside of me having to crash that show one of these days. It was y'all were talking
Yeah.
about how Rock could combat that, and I genuinely believe that the best route is to bring more of the bloodline in, and to make it even better because obviously we know
That's not
from
creepy
someone's
at
chat.
all. From
Kevin's.
someone's chat.
I'm assuming it's either heel Kevin's or it's Jacobites.
Yeah. Because those are the only two chats I've ever seen you active in.
I'm active in. Oh, it could be the dad trainers as well. It could be
True.
that one.
True.
I don't know.
True.
Let me know which
I
one.
forgot about that train.
Yeah, Kevin. There it
Kevin.
is. Where I won Member of the Year for 2022.
Aw, that's sweet.
Acknowledge me. No, got that one out there. We were talking about
Yeah,
the bloodline. Figure out that one in there. Um,
that's all right.
so with that being said, it's you add that extra level because obviously we know Roman's going to go over on The Rock. It's
Yep.
Rock has like 2 matches left in him. He said himself.
Yep.
So it's yeah.
Well, the one thing that kind of resonated with me is Rock said when the time comes, I'll face Roman and I'll put him over, because he's the hottest thing in wrestling right now. So, and as Rock should. There's no reason why in 2022 or 2023 Rock should be
winning
Rock
matches
should
like
be winning championships. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
but to add another level to that is because y'all talked about how you can keep the bloodline thing going for a very long time. Yeah. Right. You could. Is it going to be as dominant?
But it's true. I agree.
Peak. This will always be peak bloodline. It'll carry on. It'll be like the Bullet Club, where it'll carry on throughout the years.
It already is. But for the past 20 years, they've talked about the Samoan family dynasty.
But now there's solidarity to it. But obviously with Roman going over in that situation, there would be the point where he looks at the people that The Rock brought in. He's like, if you want to stay here and you want to eat at this table, acknowledge me.
Yep.
and then obviously they would acknowledge, The Rock would acknowledge, all of them would acknowledge and bend the knee to Roman. As the family goes, you beat the big dog in the family. You are now the big dog. To be the man, you got to beat the man. The old saying from Ric Flair. Um, so he would have that. But yeah, so I'm back to AEW away from WWE. This is why I
I
need to
know, my
crash
bad.
it. That
I had to, I
I need to
had to
crash.
because we were, like I said, yeah, I had a massive like squirrel moment because when you said Samoa Joe, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We talked about the. So, anyways, um, main event time. Before we move on to the main event, um, I tried to search everywhere for the guy's name who, uh, I tried to search everywhere for the guy's name that debuted with Parker Bordeaux. Couldn't find it. Nobody
I
knows
just
who
know
this guy is.
I just know he's a fuck ton of tattoos and some ugly ass face tats, and I'm like,
Yep. Um.
And then you got Swerve standing up there smiling with his Island Boys fucking grill. Um,
Yep.
Something I've never understood in my life. Grills, I've never understood them. But
Paul Wall, baby.
whatever.
People's champ.
Yeah, that was what in the '90s. Like, come on,
No, it's early 2000s. It's not that old. Oh, a
20
couple,
years ago.
few years. Yeah,
Nonetheless,
a few years after you were born. Uh,
couple,
got my
just a
got my
couple.
mouth shining like a disco ball. So, um, anyway,
Yeah.
uh,
So Jamie Hayter
Jamie
and
Hayter
Hikaru Shida.
with yep, Jamie Hayter with Britt Baker and Rebel, against Hikaru Shida. I thought that uh, like I said, I thought the match was really great up until the end. I feel like the end was another moment to get or another opportunity to get Britt to shine, and it's like you know I love Britt. I think Britt is extremely talented, but in order for this women's division to elevate, and I love that they put the women's match as the main event and let those two women go. But in order for this women's division to elevate, like at some point, Britt Baker's gonna have to take a step back and let other people have shining moments. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
So
everything that involves the women in AEW doesn't have to have Britt Baker involved,
correct.
and it's crazy.
Um. So I'll say this. Like you said, match in and of itself, I'll say first 15 of the 20-minute match, um, it was good. It was. Thank you for the follow. I believe that was me that you followed.
Yeah. Thank you for the follow,
It was,
hamburger
yeah, it was
doggy
one of
fry
us,
ketchup.
both of us. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, yeah, to get my thought back, it was good, but my issue here is with that last 5 minutes because
Yep.
what they essentially did in my head is they buried their champion. I've AEW did something I've never seen before in my life. Bury a champion while having them win a match
Yeah.
and defend their title.
Yeah.
Never seen it
You've
before. So
essentially you've essentially told us that Jamie Hayter can't win
without
without
Britt
Rebel
and
and
Rip.
Britt Baker. Yeah.
And then on top, and then to top it
Which
off, then
so many people have done that. I mean, like
yeah, but
Roman's
like
doing it right now. Triple H used to do it. But
Roman,
here's the
so
thing that's
here's, they win matches without the interference.
yeah,
They still win these matches. I
no.
Jamie has not.
Yeah. So
Like when
the
Roman won his
yeah, when she
title,
won the yeah,
it
I don't know if you remember or not, but when ABJ did the show with us after after Jamie after Jamie won the title, ABJ mentioned he was like the commentators talked about how Jamie Hayter deserved this win and how she earned it and how she's worked her ass off for it. And he's like, but she fucking didn't because you made Britt and Rebel a part of the match and cost Tony Storm the title. So how are you going to tell me that Jamie Hayter deserves this win and earn this championship when in fact she had so much help doing
she
it?
earned the
So
match. I'll give her that she earned the match, but she didn't earn the title. And
yeah,
she's yet to earn the title. And yeah,
Yep.
she walks around with it, but she is, in my opinion, nothing more than a paper champion at this point because of this.
Yeah, because
And
what's going to happen is what they're building towards is they're building towards Jamie Hayter versus Britt, because at
Britt
some
Baker,
point in time Britt's going to turn on Jamie and Britt's going to take back that title from her.
yeah, and then they followed it up with Tony and Soraya, and once again burying the AEW Women's World Title underneath Britt Baker and Soraya is
Yep.
exactly what they did. And now it's obviously going to be Soraya and Tony Storm versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker whenever they do that match. That's going to be what that is, and it's once again they're just burying the title underneath these two. It's fine for them to run a storyline without the title, but you're bringing the champion into it, and that's an issue. Sorry, and it's just I think ABJ said this a couple weeks ago. They don't know how to book anybody outside of like four people.
Yep.
The Elite being Kenny and the Bucks, I'll count them as three, and then Britt. Um, and it's like they, for whatever reason, and
Have a good night, hamburger doggy fried ketchup. That's a mouthful,
yeah,
man, but I still love it.
it's
We appreciate the follow, sir. Have a good night.
absolutely. Yeah, so they have this thing where they cannot allow that title to be on a screen without Britt being there somehow.
Yep.
And what it does
And
is
that's a humongous problem.
yeah, and what it does
So,
is it takes away from every other title reign that everybody has had. It takes away from Thunder Rosa's, from Tony's, and takes away from Jamie's. It's for whatever reason they can't do it. They need to keep the Soraya Britt thing on one end of the spectrum and keep the title all the way over here on the other side. They don't need to be around each other. There's no reason for them to be around each other, especially right now. It's just I don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I don't know a better way to say that, a more tactful way to say that, other than what the fuck. Like it's why why are you making the title so Mick, I'll talk about that here in a second. Um, it seems like you're making the title less relevant than the other wrestlers, when in reality it should be more relevant. Whoever has the title should be the most relevant person in that division, and it
yep.
doesn't seem like that. It's yes, Mick, Britt. Yeah, I enjoyed Britt's title reign. Britt to have the title back would not necessarily be a bad thing, as apparently that's the only thing they can do with her is keep her around it. But at this point in time, why is Britt so heavily involved in this title picture right now when she's not a contender for the title is what they're making it seem like. As for Steven, I don't know if we're ever getting Thunder Rosa back in AEW. From the from the reports I read, it seems like they don't have any plans for her. So.
Agreed. Yeah. Hey guys, we are like right here towards the end of the show. Dustin and I are going to start breaking down the card. I am going to post the link in the chat for you guys to click. I don't know if it'll post in Twitch. I've heard that Twitch doesn't allow you to post links in there. I'm not 100% sure. It shows on my end that it went through. But anyways, guys, the link is there. Jump in. I will keep you backstage until I'm ready to pull you on. When I pull you on, obviously, per usual, depending on how many people we have waiting, I will keep it to a 2-minute limit. Heel Kevin, what is up, brother? What is up?
The man with the legend himself.
Yes. If you guys don't know Heel Kevin already, Heel Kevin does a lot of fantastic things. He streams almost every day of the week. Monday through Friday. Heel Kevin also does some fantastic some fantastic stuff like giveaways, watch-alongs in his Discord. Also, before you show that, I want to talk about one of the most important things that I think Heel Kevin has done. They just recently did the Toys for Tots, and I thought that was awesome. I thought that was amazing. Heel Kevin dressed up as Grinch, and they went and passed out those toys that his channel and his community, the HKA, the Heel Kevin Army, helped raise and support for those kids. So
Yeah, he does amazing charity work. It's not just Toys for Tots. I've seen him do others as well.
absolutely, I wanted to highlight the most recent one. So
Yeah. With that being said, not only does Kevin do all that charity and all that giveaways,
yeah.
the man makes custom belts. And here I have a custom Baltimore Ravens belt.
Yeah,
Which
there you go.
And this is one of two. Well, the second one I'll have shortly that I'm getting from Kevin. Yeah, he makes absolute amazing quality belts. I'll say that much. If you want a belt of any replication of anything, that is your man. If you are in, I believe, so if you're in my Discord, I'm pretty sure he's there. And he's in there.
You have a Discord?
I do have a Discord.
What?
Yeah.
How do I not know that you don't have a Discord?
Because you don't come in my chat.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I said that to you. I wanted to make sure. So, guys, the link is there. Right now we've just got one person waiting. So if you guys want to jump in, you guys can. Like I said, 2 minute. If there is a wait, if this guy's my only guy tonight, then he ain't got a time limit, and that's okay with me because I like that kid. For
those of you in my chat that are not a part of my Discord, it is now there. I'll also throw it in. If Chase is cool with that, I'll throw it in your chat. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, man, absolutely, of course.
So it's in this chat as well. Just want to make sure that was.
See.
Yeah, it said no.
That's all right.
I put in a little private chat on here for you.
Oh, okay. So, sweet. I will get that copied.
Yeah, apparently Steven's not a Ravens fan. Steven, are you by chance a Steelers fan?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard Steven talk about his.
He said boo Ravens, so I'm assuming he's either a Steelers, Bengals, or Browns fan, unless he's a very salty Chiefs fan.
A salty Chiefs fan?
Yeah, a salty
what
Chiefs
did the
fan.
Chiefs? What do the Chiefs have to be salty of?
I'm talking about the fans themselves salty, and they don't like the Ravens for whatever fucking reason. Or any AFC
I don't have a. The only teams that I despise are Broncos, Raiders, and I don't even despise the Chargers. The Chargers are. So
and there's Kevin. There it is.
Kevin, he mentioned that earlier. He was very proud of that.
I am. Words do not.
When I introduced him this week, he said, "You will acknowledge me as Heel Kevin Army Member of the Year."
I did not say that.
Oh, I see.
Chase is putting words in my mouth. I did not say that. But Steven, you're a Lions fan. I'm from Michigan. My man, I am from Michigan. I was raised a Lions fan. Around 2010, I became a Ravens fan. So all nothing but love for the Lions from me. So I mean, we can still get along there. But yeah, HK member. One of my best achievements in life.
Dustin, what would you rate this week's Dynamite after we just got done breaking it down?
Out of 10?
Sure. Why not?
5.
Okay. That's fair.
It was a god awful show.
I don't like really high scores. I think number one, I think you should never do 10 because if you do 10, it's unachievable, right? 10 has to be like the greatest ever.
Kevin's 2. I was being nice. They had FTR in the screen, so it raised them up a few points. Yeah. Between FTR,
I go a 5.7.
FTR being on the screen, fucking Stokely Hathaway's "you raggedy bitch" and Rick Ross's "you a big motherfucker." It's those just raised it up for me. It was just those little things. I give them a couple extra here. Uh, I didn't want to go lower. I didn't want to in reality, like without those, with no bias of me being a massive FTR mark. Realistically, it's like a 4. But because I'm an FTR mark, I'm going to give them the extra point. Even though they lost, so I kind of want to take half a point away. So we'll say 4.5. It's I don't know. This show was it was not a good show. Like, so not last week, the week prior, the last show ABJ did here was their best Dynamite in a minute, and they had it going, and then they just bombed it. I'm not saying there's a direct correlation between the fact that on that show there was no best of 7 series match, and on these ones there are. I'm not saying there's any correlation in that.
Well, you're definitely working on fitting into the ABJ shoes because ABJ's favorite thing to do was to take giant dumps on this show. So
it's not fucking like I can't sit here and lie to you guys and be like, oh, it was a great show. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather you be honest than lie.
It was
all right. I got more than one waiting now, so we're gonna go ahead and bring in Hunter Dillon.
I wish I had Uno cards around here. I was looking for them. I was like, I don't have them in here, and then I was gonna pull it out, the skip card.
Yep.
This whole show.
Oh,
let me tell you something.
The whole show.
This whole show has nothing but one giant Uno skip, one match. But other than that, it's just been one giant Uno skip card. Anyway.
What he said.
Damn.
Anyway, how you doing, you two?
What? So what you said? You said the one thing. So Hunter, tell us what you did like.
The FTR match. That was the only shining light in this whole crap stain of a show.
And even then,
I rarely.
And I don't say that about FTR.
I rarely say bad things about AEW shows, but this one I'm just like, can I have my 2 hours that I just lost to my life back, please?
Wow. That's wow.
It's wrong.
Steven Chambers said NXT was better than Dynamite this week. That's very rare.
I agree, Steven. I agree 110%.
Well, Mick is going against the grain, guys, because Mick gave it a 10+. So
no,
10+.
No, not even the women's match, Raz.
The match itself was good. It was just the ending to a match can completely ruin an entire match, and that's what.
Yeah.
Yep.
The match had
one
that
bad apple spoils the whole barrel.
And oh boy, was there more than one bad apple in this show. It was an entire. There was one good apple, and everything else was just rotten to the core.
Yeah.
And
of course, I still have a disdain for that best of 7. You know that's a giant skip card.
We're getting some of the legend apparently tonight.
I like it. I'll dig it. Hunter,
yo,
what would you have done differently on this show to make it better for you?
Canceled it.
Honestly, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not Tony Khan, so I don't know what I would do, but I certainly would. If it were me, I would kind of let Kane a little bit. Just for a little bit.
Instead of
just a little bit.
Like half.
Just a little bit.
Trust me, I've never taken any, but trust me, cocaine is one hell of a drug. Okay.
I'll trust you, Hunter. I'll trust you.
That's a Rick James reference, just in case you guys didn't get that.
Yes.
That
whole thing is with the Swerve Strickland and whole thing. No, that was.
Hunter,
I will take useless pro wrestling segments for 200, Ken.
Can I get
Anyway,
that for
carry on, Dustin. I'm
$500?
sorry. Yes.
You are all good, brother. Yeah, can I borrow that Uno skip card though? Every time we bring up the that Swerve Strickland Keith Lee thing, I'm gonna need to borrow that. So we should probably keep
Well,
him
if I
here
only
for
I could
whenever
reach
somebody
it through
brings it
this.
up to hold that up for. Yeah,
If only I could reach it.
I
If
just
only I
need him
could
to
shove
stay.
that through the screen there, but
Yeah,
I can't.
I just need him to stay stay here, and whenever somebody brings that up, just hold up the skip card. That's just all
Yeah.
I need that. I need somebody
I mean,
to come
don't-
in with an Uno skip card, like a massive one that's like 4 foot tall. Just no.
I mean, they sell giant Uno decks. I mean, we can always. That's always possible. That's always a possibility.
Don't tempt me. I will do it.
Absolutely.
Do it,
Hunter.
no balls.
So, no balls.
My next paycheck. Me and Amazon are going to get along real well.
So Hunter, before I let you out of here, I want you to do me a humongous favor.
Yes.
Tell everybody what you do in ABJ's Discord, and tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs. I know you're a Twitch streamer.
Yes.
So go ahead, talk about the service you provide in ABJ's Discord, and talk about your Twitch channel for me, please.
Well, I am ABJ's resident game show host. He likes to call me the megastar of the Discord, although I really don't think I am. I'm just there. I'm just there so I don't get fined. But in short, I host game shows. I do Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, The Price is Right. We've started doing Pressure Luck, which is an awful lot of fun. Steven was there when we did Pressure Luck not too long ago. He gave us some excitement in the $1 million bonus round, but that darn whammy. And we also do games like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Super Millionaire. By the way, Mr. Midwest, thanks for playing the game last week. I'm sorry you couldn't make it further up to the next dimension in the game, but you did very well for yourself, and $100,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, I think I did all right.
Yes, you did. All right. But basically, I'm the game show guy. And if you want to follow me on the interwebs, it's all over on Instagram, on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. It's the same at Hunter Dillon Live. I use game streams and game show streams. I do a vodcast, but that's on the back burner right now because my co-host is kind of he's been busy, so he won't be able to join us for a little bit. But mainly, I do game shows on my channel. I do board games, game shows, that sort of thing. And yeah, if you want to check me out, if you want some straight up nonsense and buffoonery, you can follow me on everywhere on the socials at Hunter Dillon 95.
Are you going live tonight, Hunter?
Maybe I'll think about it. I'll have to. I actually am because I actually wanted to do I'm going to join the ABJ Discord after I stream to do some game shows if anybody's interested. But I am going to do some Wheel of Fortune on the Xbox and probably some Family Feud as well.
All right, fantastic.
Make sure you throw that link in ABJ's Discord, though, when you do go live. Make sure you pop that in there.
Yep,
I will.
Absolutely.
I certainly will.
Yep. Make sure you use the self-promotion in my Discord, and then let us know in ABJ's Discord. All right, Hunter, I've got a guy waiting. So I am going to go ahead and let you go, sir. I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
And,
thank you, Chase. Thank you, Dustin.
Absolutely. Hunter, it's a pleasure as always, bud. Have a fantastic night, sir.
Take care.
All right. Boom. The Anthony Graves podcast.
I'm here.
God.
Can you hear me? Is my mic good?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
perfect.
perfect.
Right,
What's up,
good.
guys? How you guys doing?
What's up?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Going.
I'm doing good. I always, I see you live, and the last time, I kid you not, I wanted to join on when you guys were, because you guys make it open platform for anybody to come on, and I ended up falling asleep the last time when I was going to come
all
on.
right. We
sorry
go
that
pretty
I-
late sometimes, so
Yeah.
Sorry that I told you.
No, it was not you guys. I was just exhausted. But yeah, these AEW shows, man. I don't know what it is, but I feel like once Mr. Phil Brooks left, they've kind of, and even while he was there, it's been kind of going downhill.
Since Kenny lost the world title, it's been
I
So
completely agree with that because I'm not the biggest Hangman Adam Page fan.
I so here's what's crazy to me. When Punk left, I thought they did a really good job of the last couple or the first couple weeks after that. Because they mentioned that Jericho and Mox pulled the locker room together and had to
Yeah.
a come into Jesus moment with the locker room where they hyped everybody up and kind of told everybody like hey, like this is ours to take control of. You either want it or you don't. So
Right.
I thought like those first couple
They did
shows
that
were
bad.
good and like yeah, and it looked like it was going to be promising, man. But then it feels like they went back to their usual ways, like um, you know, still. I feel like the guys that were hogging the top spots, um, in that time that took a step back after the CM Punk thing and the Elite thing,
Hmm.
um,
Because they were the top guys at
still
the time.
didn't well
Yeah.
still didn't have an opportunity to show like everybody that's been mentioned tonight in the chats, from Miro to um I can't think of any right off the top of my head, but all the guys that are in this company that are missing,
Andrade.
from those Andrade. Well, Andrade's a different story. So, um,
He's still
you know,
missing.
he
I don't
doesn't
know.
want to be there.
I
So,
don't blame him. Do
I
you?
I just feel like they have literally the probably the best roster you could ever have, and the show it just feels too chaotic, if that makes sense. I feel like
yeah,
sometimes Excalibur talks so fast I can't actually understand what he's saying because he's
They
trying to
give
run
him.
through boom, boom, boom. Gotta
Yeah,
go
they give him
Rampage, gotta
four
go Dark, gotta
seconds
go
to.
Elevation.
Yeah, they give him 4 seconds to say all that, and then wonder why nobody ever catches 98% of it. Because
yeah.
Yeah,
he's out here doing fucking Midwest chopper versus trying to plug everything coming up, and he's out of luck.
Yeah.
There's my Tech Nine reference for the night.
I like that. That's two Kansas City references in 2 nights. Um, so Anthony, what did you like from the show tonight?
um, the Danielson segment I actually liked. Danielson was all right. Um, the Swerve Strickland thing. I don't understand why he couldn't just be a solo act. I
Yeah.
feel like AEW is kind of leaning into their thing again of every single wrestler has to be in a faction. I don't like that. That is just ridiculous to me. How many people are in a faction? I'm glad
Yep.
MJF is not in the firm, but again, the
You're a
firm doesn't
heel.
really
Here's a
make
faction.
sense. Yeah, like I don't know why they had to really do that tonight. Um, I like the fact that like you guys were saying about how the women got the main event, but this is the last show of the year, and we're kind of ending it, with just generic. Oh, the heels come out, do a beatdown, and then babyface Paige comes out and makes the save, which is okay,
Babyface. Not
but
me.
it's it's just it, it's kind of like we've seen it before. You know what I mean? There's nothing. I feel like a lot of when AEW was new and it was fresh, there was a lot of new stuff. There was new stars. It felt compelling. Now it kind of feels like, oh, we've kind of seen these people before. And I hate to say it, but a lot of this roster is ex WWE guys too.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know. Oh, go ahead.
I actually, real quick, I want to talk about that because that is one of the narratives that I absolutely hate about AEW is their roster's ex WWE guys. 98% of professional wrestling around the world in any company that has any type of success has ex WWE guys in it,
Of course. Yeah.
and it's so it because it's hard to find somebody who is big and professional who has talent who's never been in WWE locker room or performance center or something.
Hmm.
MJF was there for a second when he got pushed aside by Samoa Joe. Kenny Omega was there for a second as well, and it's like it's. I hate
Oh
that
well, I'm
narrative because it's so overused and kind of just pointless to say.
Well,
And
I think
okay.
and so here's the thing. I know a lot of people always want to do a lot of people always want to be like, well, ex WWE guys. And I agree with you. I agree with you, Graves. I loved the roster that they had starting off with, but like the reality was is to compete on the level that they wanted to get on, they had to go get some of those guys,
They got too
especially
Mhm.
many.
especially right, that's true, especially right after WWE released over 200 people on air and off air. So like obviously some of those guys were going to get reeled in and pulled
Yeah.
in, and I'm super glad that some of those guys did. But you know, I think the ones that really kind of resonated with me are the ones that are kind of ones that have been kind of left behind, and the ones that are kind of hogging the spotlight, so to speak.
And to be fair, when I said XWE guys, I just meant more of a lot of the people that, like you said, were cut and went to,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
went to AEW. Because obviously you need some of them guys, but when I like say even more, just in the beginning, more freshness, Darby Allen was cool to me, and I feel like
Yeah.
now there is a lot of resentment for him online because of his partnership with Sting, and it's kind of sad because I like Wardlow a lot. Hangman
Yeah.
Page, I'm not the biggest fan of, but the guy, like, where did Scorpio Sky really go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
He's
some of these,
he's injured right now, but that doesn't excuse the 2 years prior.
yeah,
So
Like,
here, I'll kind of bounce off of this because I get a lot of what you're saying. Um, I had a thought process. I'm kind of losing it, but yeah. So
wait.
with Darby, that's what it is. That was Darby.
yeah,
My issue with Darby is actually not his partnership with Sting. I feel like he takes a lot of him and Sammy both do take a lot of very unnecessary risks and bumps.
yeah,
They're very much trying to
Still
replicate
love
that, they're very much trying to replicate Jeff Hardy in that aspect of
it.
stupid bumps. We've seen where that got him. And out of them me not wanting them to go down that same path, I want them to slow down on that. There's a time and a place for crazy bumps.
mm,
Doing a crazy bump for the sake of doing a crazy bump to get the pop is not worth it. And
100%, yeah.
that's my issue. That my personal
I
issue
think
with
I think the thing that sucks about Darby is like that's Darby though. Like Darby knows that he's not going to like the Darby character. You can't believe that Darby's going to beat a guy like
Wardlow.
um Wardlow. So Darby has to do Darby's character is the guy that has no limits, has no boundaries, that will go to whatever it takes and do stupid things to win the match. I just
And
don't like Darby because Darby's a piece of shit human being. So
and the thing,
We'll have to talk about that.
when he was first
right.
in AEW, right? I
Like,
would have
bro,
considered
how the
him.
fuck do you blow Gigi? How do you blow your relationship with Gigi Dolan? So that's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't even know that they
I
were
didn't know that was a
dating or
thing.
anything. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't know
it
either.
I have
was.
a lot of
But
questions.
Yeah.
but he was really a pillar of AEW for me in the beginning, and then
He was called a pillar for AEW. Like
and then
they put him on the fucking shirt.
and I'm watching, him and Samoa Joe, I think it was from a couple weeks ago. And, you know, obviously Samoa Joe, there's a big weight difference. Samoa Joe is a badass, and, you know,
Certified.
he does a snap power slam onto the concrete. He clotheslines him, and Darby Allin does like a corkscrew. It was off the apron, I believe, and he hits the table on his head, and Joe is really working his back. And then 2 minutes later, Darby Allin is using his back to really take out Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe wins the match. He puts him in the Coquina clutch, and then 20 seconds later, Darby Allin gets up and he's like, "Is that all you got? Like, keep going." And then Samoa Joe has to muscle buster him onto the skateboard. And I'm like, I get it. You're trying to be like you said, Jeff Hardy and Mick Foley, but some of the time it just feels unnecessary, and that takes me out of it sometimes. Like I feel like, and this might be around the board with wrestling in terms of realism, but taking certain spots, like sometimes that like it should be over. Like you're done. Like you're hurt. You know what I mean? How are we supposed to believe that anybody can actually be hurt if you get up 2 minutes later, like nothing happened? You know what I mean?
That's why I like spots in multi-man matches, because it gives that person a lot of time to recover, and it's
Yeah.
believable that the adrenaline can kick in and they can come back after 5-10 minutes of the match. They can come back in this multi-man match. The adrenaline's flowing. They can go. But yeah, that Muscle Buster seemed like it had a little bit more viciousness behind it than what his other ones have, and I feel like Joe was probably a little salty of how quickly he got up from that choke. I can never pronounce it, so I'm not going to bother to. Yeah, it's
hard to really feel for the character at that point. You know what I mean?
You did.
How can I feel for somebody that just is kind of just immediately up? I get the whole thing of, oh, he keeps getting up, but there's some point where even when Daniel Bryan was going through the Yes movement, he was hurt and he was barely on his feet. Sometimes he could barely stand. That's what kind of gave you you felt for him.
Well,
I don't really feel for Darby Allin.
With, there was that thing with Dean and Brock that they did, that WWE did. I think it was like 2015 that they did it, where Dean's still laying on the fucking mat and is still running his mouth. He gets his hand on a mic and he's like, "That's all you got." Like that. He's still very clearly hurt. He hasn't gotten up, but this man just also don't give a fuck. So I can still talk. I can still go. And there was that, you're not wanting to get up after multiple F5s and stuff, but the fact that he was asking for more added that you can't break me thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it did,
great.
Steven.
Where can everybody find you on social media, my friend?
Well, it's funny you asked that. The Anthony Graves Pod on YouTube. I am on Twitch as well. Nobody really joins, but I am on Twitch. Yeah. I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. I don't really use. Well, I'm on Facebook, but I'm never on it, and I don't really use Twitter. So those are the 4 places you can really find me and all my content. So yeah.
Awesome. Graves, kind of talk to us about content. Like, what do you push out? Of course I know, but I want you to let everybody watch and know what you push out, so people can follow you and know where to find you, bud.
So I do a podcast called The Graveyard Shift, hence the name Anthony Graves. And I call the viewers the zombies, the subscribers the zombies, all the followers, you're zombies. Chase is a zombie. I don't know about Midwest yet, but he can be a zombie too. But yeah, I have my own. It's basically a radio show that I turned into a podcast. So because I'm on break right now from school, it's just been on YouTube, but I'm on WNUW 98.5 FM, Newman University Radio. And I do really wrestling reviews on stuff that's happened on the show. Like, for instance, Monday Night Raw. I would do AEW. I didn't watch too much of the show tonight where I feel like I could really give an authentic review. I only watched certain spots like the Danielson and Swerve stuff, and the women's match. But I also talk about rumors too. I talk about stuff. I throw ideas out there. ABJ is on my show. Channelizing Tony comes on. Chase, I would love to have you on at some point too. The same with you.
Absolutely.
Midwest, you guys are awesome to talk to. Yeah, I'm always live doing something crazy. So
I do have a question for him before he goes. You say zombies. Are we talking World War Z zombies or The Walking Dead zombies?
We're talking. Wow, you said World War Z. That just gave me
Because I ain't got the stamina to be the World War Z zombie. I can't be running like that.
I
can't be doing all that.
Well, you know what? We're gonna start a thing. You're an Anthony Graves zombie. That's exactly what you would be.
Take it.
All right. Hey, Graves, as long as you don't get your rumors where fucking Richie gets his, I'm cool, man.
Dude, I go off actual news sites. I don't go off people that want to clickbait CM Punk's coming back for 10 years. So that's not who I am. So
all right. When you mentioned rumors, I didn't want to let you get out of here without taking a dig at Richie. Anyways, Graves, appreciate you coming on tonight, man. Appreciate you joining the show and watching with us. At any time, man. You just you let me know. You message me, and we'll get hooked up, brother.
Sweet, man. Sounds great.
Same.
Thanks for having me,
All
guys.
right. Absolutely. Have a good night, sir. Oh shit! I kicked him out
It's all
before
good.
he was gonna say like
It's-
you too. I think that's all we got tonight.
Is that all we got?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I see him sitting in his car, fucking eating pizza.
No, it has to be Kevin. And there he is, the legend himself, Kevin.
How are you, sir?
You're like a freaking caveman.
You have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be a little rough on the audio, but that's all right. That's
Bad.
all right.
Yeah, this
No, that's
site
okay.
doesn't like
It's Restream, dude. Restream doesn't like iPhones, and
I was expecting
gonna,
the full Kevin setup in the background, not car Kevin.
I'm at a laundromat because our washer just broke, and my wife's cat just pissed on my bedspread, so I had to come over here and wash my blanket.
Yeah, let's not talk about cats. I'm so fucking done with cats. I can't see shit. If I see it, the next cat I see in my house is getting skinned. So
Yep.
sorry.
I don't like So, Kev, what did you think of Dynamite tonight?
There you go. Yeah.
It was the drizzling shit. The
Yeah,
worst
it is.
episode of Dynamite I have ever watched. I love AEW. I love pro wrestling. That show was the absolute shit. I would rather drag my through 10 miles of just so I don't have to watch that again.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. He said in chat in my chat that when we were talking about ratings, he said 2. And
Yep, I saw that.
I'm surprised I think that was a little high.
It wasn't 2 as in the number 2. It was 2 as in peace out.
Yeah, it was rough. There were I will say this. There was a couple bright spots.
But
you raggedy
where?
bitch line. The you raggedy bitch line from Stokely and the you a big motherfucker from Rick Ross.
Oh, we're allowed to say the B word, so let me say it. Rick Ross should have never had a microphone.
This is true.
Yeah.
That's true. I just thought it was very unexpected from Stokely. That's why I said it was a bright spot, because it was just very unexpected. He was not very loud about it. He was, you raggedy bitch. And it was just, I don't know, it got a chuckle out of me.
Rick Ross telegraphed everything that was about to happen, because he was like, Lee. And then when Swerve comes out, the young legend, the unproven, the most amazing. Hey, let us know you're sucking his asshole, okay? We get it.
Yeah, I did not dig the Rick Ross part. I felt like Rick Ross was foreshadowing exactly what was going to happen.
That Rick Ross segment was probably the piece of wrestling content I've seen in the last 10 years.
What would you have done differently, Kevin?
Canceled the show.
I said that earlier. I just want to point that out. I said that earlier.
I would have refunded people's money. No, you know what I would have done with you? I would have had, instead of the Rick Ross, the people what they've really been asking for, I would have given them a House of Black match, a Buddy Murphy, something along those lines. I would have an Eddie King, something along these lines that could really seeing, but for some reason we're getting 32 different, seeing guys like Miro and House of Black and all these other guys who have been signed. Gantz without the mask, he doesn't have the mask anymore. Give me a jobber match where it shows this new dominant side of him, this new vicious side of him, where he goes in there and he tunes somebody up for 2 a day.
Agreed.
Yeah, for sure. There were definitely
Agreed.
There's
more of this,
so
more segments are
potential.
not needed to not be there.
And like I promise I'll stop talking after this. But like the other thing, we shit with Swerve and Keith Lee, both phenomenal wrestlers. The only thing you need to have a great wrestling match are 2 good guys. Let them talk. Let them promo. Stop bringing in all these other people that aren't going to help. You're going to help bring in ratings. They're just going to take your fucking money and run with it. Granted, Rick Ross, but save the money you just paid him. Let these two do what they do better than neither, and let them build a feud. Stop watering it down with all this bullshit. Nobody.
Agreed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I can't say that any better. Most of the segments that happened tonight did not need to happen. The Rick Ross thing did not need to happen. I don't see the point. I do, but I don't see the point in the Bryan Danielson interview thing. I like that they're kind of pulling him away from the title picture a little bit and having him go with ego. That's a plus. I'll accept that one. But like, I don't know. It was just that show did not do it for me. That show was very it was just not good in my opinion.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. I'm not, I'm trying to,
would be nice.
Yeah, it was dog shit.
But did you guys see the Willow Nightingale?
No.
Yeah. She tweeted about Bronson Reed coming back saying that he was supposed to be the new big monster in Japan and he left. How sickening is that? Really? Because I mean, look at the way Graham is being booked. This is a statistical fact. I'm not trying to hurt anybody who's watching the show, not trying to hurt your feelings. This is a statistical fact, and the numbers are all over the place. You can go check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. The AEW women's division out of WWE, Impact, and AEW on a weekly basis. Last week, going into the Action Andretti, who had just lost 20,000 viewers. Action Andretti came on and they gained back. As soon as that was over, the women's match came up with Ty Mello, and they dropped 70,000 viewers. That's about somebody we know nothing about being Action Andretti, who had an amazing match last week, rather than for the last 3 years. Nothing against the women. They're extremely talented. Women's wrestling, if it's booked right, in AEW, it's not booked right. The whole point is don't throw when you're statistically the lowest viewed segment of all wrestling all week.
1,000%.
And that's hard to say because if you think about it, Impact does not get that much viewership. So, like, their viewers are very low.
It is probably the best women's division on television right now.
Oh, yeah. Impact's in women's divisions. I've been catching up on Impact lately. I decided to pay the money and get Impact Plus so I can watch it. And I've been catching up on it.
Aller.
Yeah, I could have. I didn't think about that. I had already committed. Not a big deal. Yeah, it's
YouTube is where it's at.
Yeah, it's Jonathan Gresham's an Impact, but like Impact is they have a couple. They have a couple, like in my opinion, some dark spots that they can fix. But like, is there nothing that are show breaking? Like I don't like their ring announcer. He sounds very bland to me. I think Kevin could do an amazing job doing that. I'm just saying, Impact, hire this man. And then their commentators are kind of aren't really doing it for me either.
I'll be the cheapest. I'll do it for free tickets and a trunk full of t-shirts.
There you go.
Yeah, like let heel Kevin be the ring announcer, and then let ABJ do color commentary.
Me and ABJ. Let me and ABJ do commentary, and Kevin can do the ring announcer, and Chase can do backstage interviews, and we're good to go.
I think Gresham and Alexander could be one of the greatest wrestling matches of the modern era.
Oh my god,
it would be incredible.
Absolutely. Sign. Where do I? How much money do I need to see that? How much do I need to pay? Yeah, Jackie. I love him.
You don't need you don't need to push much of any money out, Dustin, because AEW or Impact is going to give it to you.
Oh yeah,
give it a little bit of time. You'll get Gresham versus Alexander,
and they don't really need to do a build for it though either. Like for a quality wrestling match, there's really no build necessary. It's random Thursday night. Hey, we have Josh Alexander versus Jonathan Gresham.
Yep.
Announce at the start of the show, have that be the main event, and by the main event, your fucking viewership will skyrocket. I promise.
I would do 2 weeks. I would do 2 weeks, 1 promo each. So 2 promos apiece. On the third week, do a contract signing. Have the most intense stare down ever. No physicality. Week, let them just go. Don't even tell them what to do. Just tell them, here's how long you got. Here's make me money. And they will put food on your plate.
Well, if you look at what Josh Alexander just did with Speedball 2 weeks ago on Impact, he went 60 minutes. Nobody thought that match was coming. Sorry, he went like 59 and 59 minutes and 55 seconds.
59 some change or something like that.
Yeah, it was almost 60. He went 60 minutes with Speedball. Nobody knew that match was coming, at least from my understanding, and it was a fucking banger. Give Josh and John 60 minutes. Tell them you guys have 60 minutes. Go.
Yep.
And watch as a technical masterpiece and one of the best wrestling matches in the last probably 25 years happens.
Yep. No, and if I'm Impact, I'm putting that on pay-per-view. I know it would boost viewership, but I'm putting that on pay-per-view to get some.
Are you putting it on for the title though? Because I think
what's the other way to run that twice? Dustin, what's the other way to do it?
I think you can run that twice though. You can run it once on a Thursday night, have Gresham take the win, run it back on a pay-per-view for the title. Let me get it twice.
I can see that.
You give them give them 30 minutes on the first one on an Impact, then you give them 60.
Yep.
For pay-per-view.
I kind of just to draw this back. I mean, I'll agree. Impact has been better than AEW lately, by a long shot. I really like Impact's women's division. I'm not big on Jordan Grace. I'm not big on Jordan Grace becoming like the new unstoppable force. For that,
killing it over an Impact for that guy.
And then the Detroit boys, the boys from my home state, the Motor City Machine Guns, are the Impact Tag Champions, while also being the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions.
Yep.
I'm gonna say something, you mad, Midwest. FTR match was dog shit.
It was. You think it's gonna make me mad?
Here's the problem. This is the way I look at it. Is FTR great best wrestlers on AEW's roster? If not the best, they are among problem. You could have a thoroughbred trophy show dog, okay? Mutt is going to come out with the mange. It's not going to make those nasty mutt dogs. The dogs are going to take down the value of your thoroughbred. That thoroughbred is going to walk away with the mange. That's what's happening with FTR. They are so good. They're putting them with other people better. It's not happening. Those other people are taking away from the great match we know FTR can have.
Yeah. No. So you said it was going to make me mad. You're not making me mad because you're spitting facts. That match was not a good FTR match. It was a decent match still. It obviously had fucking FTR in it. It's still going to be a decent match. But when you have Dax with a broken tailbone and whatever else is going on with Cash, no, they're not going to put on a good match. It's common sense. They were not going to put on a good match. I get it. They wanted to do that. I really wish that, and I hope that we get this, because when you say the Guns, I have asked Jack about this, and I asked a couple other people this. When you say the Guns, most people think of the Motor City Machine Guns, right? It's a fair statement. Yeah. I want FTR to beat Austin and Colton, not because I don't like them, but because they should. And then I want them to shoot a promo on how we just beat the Guns, da-da-da-da-da. and then I want a Motor City Machine Gun FTR thing. I need that in my life because Motor City Machine Guns, they've been a tag team for what is it, 16 years now. 2006 is when, or 14 years. They got together like 2006, something like that. They've been a team for a while. They're probably not going to be able to go for forever anymore. They probably have another 5 years left, even though they both look phenomenal. Realistically, wrestling, they kind of have a shelf life there. I need that match before all things are said and done. And I think that will be one of the best FTR matches ever.
I just need Motor City Machine Guns to keep those titles at least until the middle of March because they're coming to St. Louis to face one of the best tag teams in the Midwest, Grindhouse, and it's going to draw a lot of money and do a lot of great things for St. Louis Wrestling to have them with those Impact Tag Team Championships facing Grindhouse. So.
I need to get my tag title, and then I need to figure out a way to meet FTR and the Motor City Machine Guns and get them both to sign this tag title. I just need to find one that they both held, which is a nigh on impossible task because like their paths never cross.
Was it Motor City?
Sure they will.
IWGP Tag Champions?
Were they the heavyweight tag champions? Yep. I have to get those belts then. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit you up for that one just to get them to sign it. And then that'll be my prized possession in life. I will sell my wife for that. Not literally. That's illegal. But like just to have that signed by the four of them would be without a doubt the crown jewel of anything I could ever own in my life.
Awesome. Stephen Chambers, yes, I will be at Dynamite in Independence, Missouri, and I will also be at SmackDown in Kansas City. So, Kevin, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to join the show, man, and hang out with us. Sucks that you've got to be at the laundromat right now, especially because you're on the East Coast or you're in Eastern Time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like almost 1 o'clock, and it's like 12:30 over there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drag on my kid. One of us has to stay home, and I'm not going to tell my wife to come up here by herself. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But we appreciate you joining. Kevin, do me a humongous favor, if you can. I know the audio is a little choppy. Like I said, unfortunately, Restream is a piece of shit with iPhones. But do me a huge favor. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media and what you got going on.
I don't do social media.
He's lying. Oh, here, I'll plug him for it. I'll do it for him. It's Heel Kevin 1 on everything except for Twitch. Twitch is the only thing where it's just Heel Kevin. It's Heel Kevin 1 on Twitter, TikTok. I believe he still has his YouTube up. He does still have his YouTube up.
He does.
It's literally anywhere and everywhere that you want to find him. He's there. Heel Kevin 1.
Fantastic.
And there you go. I'll plug you. I'll do it for you, Kev.
Are you still streaming 2 times a day?
No.
One time.
He's back to his.
Every single weekday, 7/Heel Kevin. We have a couple really big giveaways coming up. We have a couple titles, a lot of different merch giveaways coming up. But aside from that, if you just want to be a part of it, we have a bunch of people in there love talking wrestling. You're not going to get belittled. You're not going to get a difference of opinion. We love when people have different opinions because then we get to talk about it. We get to have those creative. So if you just want to go somewhere where you're allowed to be yourself, you're not going to be bullied or harassed, and you can go in there and say stuff you're rated as fuck. You can come on over and do it.
Like Sons of Anarchy is a shit show.
OP deserved it.
There it is. I fucking knew it.
I don't remember who it was, but when I said I was joking, I mean, like, no, I wasn't joking. I really don't like Sons of Anarchy, but I was like, no, like, we all love different opinions. We were talking about it in the chat, and I was like, we love different opinions so much that I know Kevin and a bunch of people like Sons of Anarchy, and I can say that's a shit show. And then somebody came after my neck. I don't remember. It might have been you, Dustin. I don't remember who it was, but somebody went after me.
the see people lose their mind. The next time you make a TikTok video, just look into the camera and end the video, and watch how many comments you get of people wanting you to fall off.
Yep. No, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Pleasure as always, sir. Appreciate you joining tonight. If you're not doing anything next week, of course we do this open forum every week, man. Don't hesitate. You're always welcome over here, sir.
Eating gas station pizza in my car.
Yeah. Unless it's Casey's, gas station pizza sucks. So.
Hey, Hunt's Brothers is pretty cool.
Hunt's Brothers is pretty good. I'll say this. Next week, Kev, if you do decide to hop on here, you're gonna need to bring yours because I got mine.
Deal.
All right, Kevin. Have a fantastic night, sir. All right. That was lots of fun, man.
Always is with Kev.
Absolutely. Yeah, no,
If
if I made a TikTok about Opie, I wouldn't say Opie deserved it, but I would just take a massive dump on that show. But I won't do that. I'm trying to gain followers, not lose followers.
Oh no, yeah. What you do is you make like a really short TikTok and just go, Sons of Anarchy sucked, and then just end your video. And once you do that,
well, like Kevin said, say Opie deserved it. So
yeah. Well, and don't elaborate at all. Just say it, and then just let it go. And as everything, it'll gain traction, and then they'll somebody look at your other stuff and be like, oh.
That stupid show. So I have this I'm very, very picky and choosy about what shows I will watch from start to finish now, because I started that show and I had to watch it until the end because I was like, I started it, I have to finish it. So I watched the final episode, the series finale, live. I watched the whole last season live because I was like, I started this show, I have to finish it. And I hated it. I was literally watching it and I was like, I don't like this. I can't stand it. No, I've hated that show. Couldn't stand it. So anyways, but I know a lot of people like it and that's fine. Everybody has their opinions. So,
I mean, I enjoyed it, but
yeah, exactly. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everybody. I enjoyed watching everybody, get so excited about Charlie Hunnam being like the next big thing in Hollywood. And Charlie Hunnam's such a shit actor that it's so funny he hasn't done anything since Sons of Anarchy. So,
I want to say he's a shit actor. I think he's a pretty good actor.
Oh, he's awful.
Right.
It was either him. It was either him. It was either him or it was Kurt Sutter, which I'm not a big fan of Kurt Sutter. So.
It was Kurt.
Yeah.
Yep. So are we gonna get Moist in here? Or is that everybody?
I don't think so. We're
not getting Moist.
I don't.
You're not getting one half of the Moisty Boys.
The Moisty Boys.
Hey, Jacobite. One half of Canada's Moist Wanted. Where every time he's live, we see how many moist things we can say, and how many times we can use the word moist in a sentence.
He doesn't. Does he not like moist?
No, it's his thing.
Oh,
and we just see how many times we can fit it into a string. He literally has a sound alert from it's from Letterkenny of just them saying moist in different ways. And it's like a 2-minute audio that we just randomly play in his chat.
So real quick, we'll give anybody else some time to jump in. We are almost at the 2.5 hour mark because Kevin was the only person waiting. I let Kevin take as much time as he wanted, and it's Kevin. So
it's when you bring in the icon, it kind of.
Yeah. So we'll run down this. This Dynamite this Rampage card. And talk about next week's Dynamite, and then we're gonna get out of here. So for Rampage, they've got the Three Kings Christmas Casino Trios Royale, which I already voiced how I don't like the fact. Yeah,
I don't like.
Well, I didn't even put all of it out there, dude. It's the $300,000 Three Kings Christmas Casino Trios Royale.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, and it's really they need to chill out with these long names like that. Yeah. Again, we don't like how it's for money. Make it for a title shot, dude. Like something that makes sense.
Just call it the Three Kings Christmas Casino Trios Royal. You don't have to put the 300,000 there. I just think it's disrespectful to tell guys that
You're going to be in this match where you can get $300,000, but you're not going to win. These people are going to win.
yeah, nobody's gonna win the $300,000. We're just doing it for a joke, or I mean for a gimmick, not a joke, but for a gimmick. Like no, like what the fuck? No. And I'm sure those guys are compensated very well. I don't mean that. I think it's weird. I think it's odd. They're independent contractors. They don't have health care. They're not well taken care of. And to tell a wrestler like, hey, this match is for $300,000 of money. That's not really for $300,000 of money. It's just weird. Anyway,
at that point, I just want the business for myself, and then when they don't give me the money, well, now we have a thing.
Like Spider-Man.
You
let him get away with my money. I forgot where that's my problem.
Like, it's $300,000 towards health insurance.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like really, in all honesty, what's to stop somebody from going into business like a team from going into business for themselves and just chucking motherfuckers, especially if you have somebody big enough to do it, to literally throw a motherfucker.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what's to stop them. Because there was no prize winning at the end, and they're going to get fired.
What happens is you do that, and then when they don't give you the money, you make it a very public thing.
Yeah.
And since there's no disclaimer when they announced it that you're not actually getting this $300,000, now you have a legal case. Well, at least a civil case.
No, you'd get made fun of. You'd get made fun of.
$300,000. Fuck you. Give me my money. You don't pay my health insurance. You pay me. Most of these guys in that match, with the exception of Mox and Claudio, most of them are probably only making $60K a year, and they're working 200 plus days a week, literally putting their bodies on the line. So you can make fun of me all you fucking want. Give me my money.
Yeah. So we're gonna get Jade Cargill versus Vert Vixen in a title eliminator match. Vert Vixen has been used a couple times on AEW. I'm super excited for her to get
squashed by Jade.
I think she'll put on a good fight.
How are you going to put on a good fight against somebody who can't sell worth the damn?
Jay is getting better, Dustin. Come on now. Don't go full ABJ on me just yet, okay?
I'm just staring at you right now, Chase, because I'm trying to figure out if you truly believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth.
There's something about your face. Makes me want to punch you right in the suck hole.
Jade could not wrestle herself out of a wet paper bag.
Like I said, she's slowly but gradually getting better.
Yeah, she's nowhere near where she should be if she's going to hold a fucking title.
Yes, agreed.
And for her to have this 40-some-odd win streak is stupid. So we all know she's just going to squash this chick because she can't wrestle over the damn anyways. So she's going to do something stupid, probably almost kill the girl to get this next win. And then they're going to make a big deal out of this win streak. And it's going to be like, cool, you're not Goldberg. At least Goldberg could kind of wrestle. And Goldberg could wrestle better than Jade, which, again, bar low. And it's going to be yet another pointless thing on Rampage that I have to sit there. I have to suffer through. I haven't watched Rampage in probably 2 months, in all honesty.
Neither have I. So that's why
I'm going to watch it because it's what the fuck's
we're breaking fourth wall here. So when I break down the show, or when I break down the card on this show, I immediately after this show ends go and read the spoilers for Rampage, and I don't watch it.
With Midwest just trashing shit. I will fire up this fucking PC tomorrow and just do an entire show of you guys giving me random topics and me just trashing them for no reason.
Do it, man. Here's what you do. The perfect way to do that is record it and then upload it to YouTube and see how many views and likes you get, and then that'll tell you, yo, I should turn this into a live show.
Because I'll just trash it all day long. And I can sit here and continue to go on fucking Jade, but It's at the point where I'm tired.
And then I'll clip it and I'll post it on my TikTok for people to be like, just shut up and enjoy it.
Just enjoy the ride. And then I respond with, I can only enjoy the same ride so many times. Have you guys ever been to an amusement park? You can only ride the exact same ride so many fucking times before you're like, this is boring.
Yeah.
I can only go to Cedar Point and ride the fucking I can't remember a fucking ride at Cedar Point anyway. Like the Demon Drop that hasn't been there since 2009. I can only ride that so many times, and then I'll be bored. And then Nick's over here released Ronda Rousey, and I can go on and trash Ronda Rousey for the next 45 minutes until Chase shuts the damn stream off and tells me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we're not doing that, Mick. We're not doing that tonight.
Let me get on bad booking. Just let me get on bad booking, and I'll spend the entire stream just trashing anything Mark brings up and pissing him off.
So the last match for Rampage, we have Billy Gunn and Anthony Bowens taking on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I already did this last week, so I'm not gonna do it again because I don't watch Rampage, so I don't really care. So put Jeff Jarrett. If you want to put Jeff Jarrett on a match, put him on Rampage because I don't watch it. So.
At least it's a tag match. At least it's not a singles match with Jeff Jarrett.
No, I'd rather see a singles match. Why is Jeff Jarrett going for the tag team titles? Why? That's
because AEW does not want to put
preposterous.
The titles on FTR. They completely ignore the rest of their tag division unless it includes the Elite. And since the Elite does not like FTR because FTR is a better fucking tag team, when they're half healthy with Dax having a broken fucking ass bone, and they're still better than the Young Bucks. So they're not going to do anything with FTR. They're not going to let anybody else really get any moment to shine. What they're going to continue to do is continue to trash any fucking title run that the Acclaim have and make it fucking basically meaningless because the Young Bucks are so scared of losing their place in the company for whatever reason. As an executive vice president, they're so concerned about losing their standing in the company that they won't let any other team have any type of success. And here I go again, doing what Jacobite wants and me just trashing shit. And I'm going to trash the fucking Young Bucks. I feel like I'm on a media scrum. My name is fucking Phil Brooks right now. But at what point have I said anything that is factually incorrect?
Steven Chambers. I Hate Rap was Kurt Hennig, not Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was in WWE at that point. But that's a banger. I fucking love that song. So if you haven't, go check out I Hate Rap by Kurt Hennig on the WCW soundtrack. YouTube that shit, Dustin. So that's your homework for this week. YouTube I Hate Rap. It was
Nick, how about hashtag justice for wrestling fans? Because what they're doing in AEW is not justice for wrestling fans. Why the fuck is Jeff Jarrett on my screen in 2022 and about to be 2023? Why the fuck is he about to win a tag title in 2023?
He's not. Whoa. We will cancel this show. I will cancel the AEW Dynamite post show if Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal win the tag team championships.
So what I need to do,
so go ahead and pull that out of the universe.
Yeah, I need you to clip this little section of me saying that and you saying that, and then on the Dynamite post show after, we'll run one more.
No, there won't be one more.
No, we'll run one more, and it'll simply be us running that clip and me saying "fucking told you," and then that's the show.
No, when it happens, I will post on the page that the Dynamite post show has been canceled. Furthermore, forever, that there's no point in doing it because this show sucks dick.
At this, I was questioning if we were going to do it tonight because I was like, "What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do outside of trashing this?" And I'm over here like ABJ just trashing the fuck out of AEW right now.
Yep.
And Jay Lethal should go back to Impact because at this point it's going to be better for him. As a matter of fact, Jay Lethal should go to fucking WWE because at least then he'll be treated like the actual fucking star that he is to a point. If he's in NXT, if he goes to Impact, he'll be the fucking star that we know he is. Jeff Jarrett needs to go back to whatever fucking state he's living in these days. I don't know if he's in fucking Tennessee or if he's in fucking the state that doesn't exist, Wyoming. I don't know where the fuck he's at. wherever the fuck
Who
he
knows?
lives. He needs to go back there and stay the fuck off my TV screen.
Agreed.
I'm tired of
Agreed.
seeing Jeff Jarrett.
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett does
All
not
right.
belong here.
I'm pulling the plug. I'm pulling the plug because I feel
We'll
like
keep going.
yeah. I feel like if we shit on anymore, we're not gonna have much to talk about next week. So I'm not gonna cut him off, but we are gonna pull the plug.
I just gave
what
him
I-
like an entire week's worth of TikTok shit in that last like 10 minutes. So
yeah. And I'm gonna get the same guy commenting on it. Don't tell him to shut up and enjoy the product. Anyways,
how about you?
we're not
I was
gonna
gonna be mean when I replied to him. I really was. I was like, I'm gonna be nice because this is not my TikTok. But now you said that.
What's
Everybody
going to
heard
happen?
me say that,
No,
right?
because what's going to happen? What's going to happen is no, do it because what's going to happen is he's going to get so or not him. I don't want to single him out. I'm going to talk about anybody else. When you comment like that, what'll happen is they'll get so intrigued. I'll be like, no, go ahead, come on the show and tell Dustin what you didn't like, and it'll increase viewership. So,
come in here, come and chat, and try to tell me that I'm wrong.
Yeah. All right, guys. So before we close out, sir, because we are closing in on almost 3 hours, so that's really long for a 2-hour show. To break down a 2-hour show, Dustin, where all can people find you on social media, sir?
Right here, Mr. Midwest 99, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. I really need to get back into TikTok right now. Most of my TikTok traction is coming from Chase's videos last week. So I need to hop in there. And if you really want to see me in all my infamous glory, you can see me in the Dad Trainer stream and in Jacobite stream in all of my glory of being the promo god that I am. And there it is. I'm going to say that. The promo god that I am. There and running shit over there.
Yep.
And literally and figuratively being a mod for both of these gentlemen, which is without a doubt one of the best things I get to do. I absolutely love the amount of time I get to spend with these guys, and especially people like Kevin, the amount of just the love and support that comes out of these guys. That's going on your shirt and game. The promo god, do it. You won't.
Yep. Go ahead and put it. Hey, Jacobite, go ahead and put it on his. Go ahead and put it on his shirt. So when the Messiahs of Chaos beat them again, he'll be wearing that shirt.
I'm still a promo god, Chase. You can't prove me wrong because you won't hop in a promo section. Hop in a promo section, Chase, and I will show you why I am the promo god.
That's fine. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, back in my day, eFeds, we used to have a word minimum and stuff like that, and it had to be quality. You couldn't sit there and be like, "I'll beat your ass" like over 300 times. Like it had to be word quality. You had to type that shit out.
I don't have it anymore.
I don't. I don't.
I was really hoping that I could stir you up on that.
Yeah, no. No, if you'd have said that to me 12 to 15 years ago, Dustin, I'd have been like, I don't have it anymore. Well, let me show you. Now I'm fat and I'm 34 years old. And now when you're like, you ain't got it anymore, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I ain't got it anymore.
I can't give you a microphone because you'll sound just like Jade Cargill.
That's all right.
But anyway, yeah, back to the plug of myself, Mr. Midwest everywhere that you can find. And yeah, just enjoy the ride shit on everything and anything and everything here on the Dynamite Post Show.
So speaking of enjoying the ride, guys, I want to I just want to preference with Dustin, with myself, and with you guys joining and thanking everybody that joined. We do have one more show before the end of the year. I know when Graves was on here, Graves said this was like the last Dynamite before the end of the year. We have one more before. Yep, one more. So we'll have one more Dynamite post show this year. But I do want to say, since I've started this whole thing, I've only been doing this a year. And since I started, I haven't been doing the wrestling content a year. I've only been doing the wrestling stuff for 8 months, 9 months. It's been a wild journey. I thank everybody who has supported. I thank everybody who has come along. Think of anybody who has all that stuff. So with that being said, if you guys haven't followed already, make sure you do it. CR Media on all forms of social media. We've got a fantastic 2023 plan, guys. We're going to be doing a lot of crazy stuff. It's just going to get more wild. So, yes, Axel, we are still on. So, like I said, guys, if you we appreciate you guys joining, appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure you tune in next week for the AEW Dynamite post show, where me and Dustin will break down the show for one last time this year, and then we'll get right back into it next year. Other than that, Dustin, you got anything to lead us off with?
I don't think I do.
Okay. I was going to rate out, but there's no point in rating out with this many viewers. So, all right, guys. Again, appreciate it. As always, for my co-host Dustin, for myself, CR Media, as always. Goodbye, good night.